Liquidators gift card. Get set for the holidays with hardwood flooring deals that won't last. Go to lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. A daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. While we're on the subject of miscreant kids running amok, thanks to the fools who've been, shall we say, educating them all these years, we've lost a University of Missouri president, and I believe the chancellor also quit. Okay? Racial discrimination protests are igniting all over colleges across the United States. Why is that? Is it because some minority kid was taken off a campus, hauled into the woods, and strung up on a tree? No, he wasn't. It's because someone asked a Hispanic student whether or not she could speak English at a party 2 years ago. You see, in the early 60s, when there were real racial issues in the United States, college kids went out in droves and protested the fact that black kids were not allowed to go to white colleges. Now, Vanessa Diaz, raised in Dallas, is having a spasm because she was asked if she could speak English. Because of the society we live in, it's not okay to be overtly racist. Okay, so you walk up to somebody that you don't know and you ask them whether they can speak English. And that is some racist attack? That's being overtly racist. It is ridiculous that people are having this problem. You know, I remember when racism was real, honest-to-God racism. There were people that weren't allowed to use water fountains in the United States in my lifetime. But now we have microaggression. Microaggression. That's right, we have microaggression. Slights and snubs. Even the unintentional ones. These people are sitting around weeping about themselves on microaggression websites. They've got them at Harvard and Oberlin College and Brown University, Dartmouth, Swarthmore, Columbia, Willamette, other universities. Researchers have conducted more than 5,500 studies on the topic of microaggression, documenting how seemingly minor slights harm student performance, mental health, and work productivity. Woo! What does this mean? This means that because some guy waves a flag at a bunch of college students, that the president of the university simply must be removed. Woo! You knew that somewhere some arch leftist idiot was going to be mentioned in this horrifyingly stupid story. You knew it. And right on time shows up University of California president Janet Napolitano. She invited faculty members last year to take training in recognizing microaggression and the messages they send. Telling people of color they speak English well is a microaggression. Asserting that America is a melting pot denies the significance of a person's racial or ethnic experiences. How, nincompoop? I want you to explain that to me. E pluribus unum, of many one. It is a melting pot. The United States is a melting pot since its flipping inception. Why am I telling you, Mr. College Professor, that you are so full of garbage that no one will even let you into a landfill because you'll fill it up? What a bunch of crap. Microaggression. Bradley Campbell, an associate professor of sociology at Cal State Los Angeles, said the movement is transforming society from a dignity culture in which people are taught to have thick skins and refuse to allow others to affect their sense of self-worth to a victimhood culture that advertises personal oppression. Well, he's actually right, so I probably ought to quit making fun of him. Victimhood. We're raising hemophiliacs. He waved a flag at me. Brenda Smith Lizama, vice president of the Missouri Students Association, appeared on MSNBC to express her disdain at people using their First Amendment rights to create a hostile and unsafe learning environment. She then advocated for a safe space for healing rather than experiencing a lot of hate. Hey, ding dong. What's your physics grade? I'm sorry. I'm not interested in listening to your babble about microaggression. I want to know how you're doing in English 201. Is it because I'm a bigot? No. But because you're going to a state university, part of my money is used on your ridiculously, obviously wasted education. So I want to know how badly my money is being spent. MSNBC host Thomas Roberts asked Smith Lizama to respond to a professor who complained universities were becoming intolerant of opposing views. One professor complained universities are becoming a place of prohibition. What is your feeling? Do you believe that is that a place we're headed for on American campuses? Quote, I am personally tired of hearing that the First Amendment rights protect students when they are creating a hostile and unsafe learning environment for myself and other students here. I think that it's important for us to create that distinction and create a space where we can all learn from one another and start to create a place of healing rather than a place where we are experiencing a lot of hate like we have in the past. Listen, Dig Dong, if that's the way, how are you supposed to learn something? What if you disagree with what you're learning? Is that hate? Is that microaggression? Yes, it's hate and microaggression. Then here's what you need to do. Why don't you go out to some playground that pleases you and leave the rest of us alone so we can learn something important? I don't know about you, but I can't remember a university, of being a place where hate lives. How are you going to disagree with somebody and not feel like you've been slighted? You lead with racism. That's your first defense. Why? Because you're a racist. That's why. Because you believe you're put upon. Because you believe you're something special, that you should be coddled, and you should be cherished. My God, you shouldn't have to actually deal with someone waving a flag at you or disagreeing with you in any way because it's hatred. So here's what you do. You go right over here to this beach and you sit there until you're eaten by the sand crabs and leave us alone. Shannon in Dallas, welcome to the Wells Report. By the way, do you speak English?
Oh, I'm highly offended that you would even.
Yeah, of course you're highly offended.
Well, in Texas, if this is where this microaggression occurred of asking someone if they speak English, that's at times a worthwhile question. I mean, if I heard someone speaking English, I'm probably not going to ask them that. But if the circumstances are such that it's questionable, I might ask them that because a little bit of Spanish that could communicate if they didn't. So I know I've never had, in my experience, I've never had anyone take offense at that. So I think the sensitivity is a little much. And the other thing it strikes me is there's a certain karma about these universities getting this sort of treatment, because they're reaping their own rewards, because they've taught this indoctrination of victimhood and how horrible the U.S. is and so on. And so it's sort of ironic that they're now reaping their just rewards, I suppose.
Yeah, this starts in elementary school. You know, I was talking about corporal punishment in elementary school. This is the first generation of kids that have been allowed to be idiots in school, going now to college, and guess what they're doing? They're being idiots. Idiots. So Brenda Smith-Lizama doesn't have an undergrad degree yet. Okay? She's an undergrad. But listen to what this idiot is saying about college. I think it's a teachable moment for all of us. I also think it's important to remember that as student journalists, you cannot approach these types of situations with hostility and anger, because it only escalates the situation. That's called passive aggression. You're sitting around here getting your butt, I'm sorry, you're sitting yourself getting yourself in a twist. I was going to say butt up in the air, but I can't say that, can you? You're telling people how to teach you. Why don't you sit down and shut up? Oh, my. Aaron and Mesquite, welcome to the Wells Report. Hi.
Hey, how are you doing, David?
Smith-Lizama.
Jon-David, I'm
Brenda
sorry.
Smith. My God, you didn't use my whole name.
Well, man, you know, I'm looking at all of this. I do not put much stock into the college, the expectations of your child going to college. We've been trained to think that this is the way it has to be, and there's a reason why the youth is so fascinated with socialism and entitlements and politically correctness, and it's not it's no accident. Vladimir Lenin is quoted saying, "Give me 4 years to teach your children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted." We are being dismantled from the inside out by a greater power than a lot of people recognize.
I agree. Student protesters at the University of Missouri asked white supporters to leave yesterday in order to create a black-only healing space. Yeah. Steve Schmidt, an activist who was at the protest, tweeted the concerned student 1950 group were asking the white allies to leave. Prominent Black Lives Matter activist Janetta Elzie seemingly confirmed those with Caucasian skin were being asked to leave the area, tweeting the group had created a black-only healing space for the students to share, decompress, to be vulnerable and real. What? White individuals were in another group upstairs. Concerned student 1950 is currently holding a breakout discussion groups in the basement of the student center. What are those people talking about? I'll tell you what they are talking about. Whatever it is that they're talking about needs to be transcribed. It needs to be printed, thousands and thousands of copies printed. And what it should be is then chopped up into small 1-inch tubes. You roll it up in a really tight little tube, cut them into 1-inch sections to be used as suppositories for later on in their life when they realize just how stupid they look right now. The Atlantic is actually trying to put some sort of reality on it. Professor Nicholas Christakis lives at Yale. He presides over one of the undergraduate colleges. His wife, Erica, a lecturer in early childhood education, shares that duty. They reside among students responsible for shaping residential life. They were the people that got complained to because because the students were offering heavy-handed advice on what Halloween costumes to avoid. So Ms. Christakis said what we should do is we should start coddling the students. And for her trouble, a faction of the students are trying to get the couple removed from their residential positions, censured and ousted. Hundreds of Yale students are attacking them, along with hateful insults, shouted epithets, and a campaign of public shaming. This is getting out of hand because people are stupid. Stupid. And they're in college? Oh, man. This is the Wells Report.
Sean Hannity is tired of the double standard.
The Carson campaign disputes Politico's unsubstantiated claim that he ever claimed to have applied to West Point or have been admitted. He never said he was admitted or even applied. This is what we've come to expect from Politico. Dirty politics. Let's see, we can go through every Republican candidate, but Hillary lies and she gets away with it.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
20 plus years of unemployment. That's what retirement is, or should be. But imagine still working when you're 75 because you didn't have an exit plan for the next stock market crash. If you think your current plan has too much risk, or you're tired of paying hidden fees, listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Saturdays at 4 p.m. Rick and Kevin will tell you the truth about the financial world we live in. No one knows when the next correction will be. So listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Saturdays at 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Donald Trump's appearance as host on Saturday Night Live generated big ratings, but did it help his pursuit of the presidency? If you believe his top priority must be to convince the public that he's serious about the world's biggest job, the answer is that SNL probably hurt more than it helped. On NBC, he looked more comfortable delivering carefully scripted lines with hip comedians on a studio set than he does in unscripted debates with his fellow candidates, highlighting his decades-long background with Broadway and Hollywood. That's not the preparation that normally would reassure uncertain conservatives. Meanwhile, his funniest skit on SNL showed the Trump White House in 2018 with all the nation's foreign and domestic problems suddenly solved. When asked how he did it, President Trump shrugs and says, "It was magic, inexplicable." It doesn't help a candidate's credibility when a TV vision of his presidency is treated as a joke. I'm Michael Medved.
Howdy folks, Crazy Gun Dealer here, and I have a crazy pistol deal for you. Smith & Wesson 9mm or 40 cal pistols, only $289 with ammo purchase. That's right, $289 for a Smith & Wesson 9 or 40 pistol. Now this is in-store only and while they last, so you better get here quick. And as always, you still get free Texas CHL classes, a free lifetime warranty, free range membership, and free test firing on most handguns. And if that's not enough, if we don't already have the best gun price you found anywhere, we'll beat any price gun to gun, or we'll give you the gun for free, because nobody wants your gun business more than the Crazy Gun Dealer. That's the Crazy Gun Dealer in Alvarado. For more information, visit crazygundealer.com. Follow us by texting crazy to 24587 or give us a call at 855-329-4867. That's 855-329-GUNS.
All offers and promotions subject to change or restrictions. See store for complete details.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. November, the month of Thanksgiving. If you'd like to be thankful for better vision, listen up, because my friends at Climate Evangelista are teaming up with the Rush Creek Food Pantry to host their Food for Sight drive to help feed local families in need, and they want you to join the mission. Drop off 5 non-perishable food items to one of the Climate Evangelista Eye Center locations in either Arlington or Plano, or their newest location in the Knox-Henderson neighborhood of Dallas, and they'll give you an official gift certificate, $1,500 off LASIK. Not bad. For details, give them a shout at 1-800-714-2020. 1-800-714-2020. Climate Evangelista cares about feeding DFW families. I know you do too, so drop off your food items, pick up your LASIK gift certificate, and give yourself an early holiday gift. Live better by seeing better with my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. 1-800-714-2020. 1-800-714-2020. Or visit LASIK, LASIK, LASIKsurgery.com.
There are times when people need a little extra money, honest, hardworking people, and some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company who gets it, who can help my listeners who need it. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com to check your rate, risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of my listeners need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code BORROW. That's avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW. Avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW.
Loans made by WebBank. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
The news reports are horrific. It is nothing more than Christian persecution writ in blood. That's what's happening in the Middle East. You and I have been watching from afar, wondering if there was anything we could do to support these Christians in dire need. There is. Thanks to Christian Solidarity International. The mission is to deliver food assistance, medical treatment, life-saving aid to victims of religious terrorism around the globe. And indeed, Christians can benefit from your taking part in this program that we're asking you to do so right this moment. A $50 donation will provide 5 blankets or 5 mattresses for a family. A $100 donations provide both. $150 provides 5 winter coats. $250, all 3 items, blankets, mattresses, coats. $58 will provide 2 food parcels. $308 does all of the above. We are asking for your donation for Christians in the Middle East and West Africa. They are on the brink of genocide, and they need help right now. You can donate at 660amtheanswer.com. Go right now, look for the Christian Solidarity International button, and give. Thank you for that very important gesture on behalf of the Wells Report at 660 AM The Answer.
It's Baylor Bears football right here on 660 AM The Answer. Join John Morris and JJ Joe as they bring you every bone-jarring hit and sensational touchdown as the Bears compete for the Big 12 title.
Tune in this Saturday as the Baylor Bears take on the Oklahoma Sooners. The pregame starts at 6:30 p.m. and the kickoff's at 7 p.m. Everything heard right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. You ever hear the saying, it's all in a name? Well, that's their name, USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's what they do. It's their one focus, their one mission, to diagnose, fight, and defeat prostate cancer, a disease that affects 1 in 6 men in our lifetimes. So if you've got a family history of prostate cancer, you've been recently diagnosed, I urge you, visit with one of the renowned physicians at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's a unique place. They focus specifically on helping men defeat prostate cancer. How? A range of different treatments. Sometimes it's cryotherapy, sometimes it's robotic surgery. It might be no surgery. Not everything is something that you jump on immediately. Call now for an appointment to ask any questions, 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. If you're hearing me talk about this and you know someone recently diagnosed, a friend, a family member, coworker, somebody at church, put them on the phone to 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. That's how important this is. 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. USMD Prostate Cancer Center.
Warning. As the weather gets colder, mice, squirrels, rats, and other disgusting vermin may be invading your home, gnawing at support beams, chewing through wiring and insulation, and wreaking all kinds of damage, including expensive rodent damage that your home insurance probably won't cover because they consider it your negligence. Don't delay. Call the home protection experts at Terminix for a free inspection and a guaranteed solution. 1-800-229-3342. Terminix is the nation's leading provider of termite and pest control services. We eliminate eliminate and remove damaging invaders and seal your home from top to bottom to prevent future invasions. All backed by our Terminix guarantee. If they come back, so will we. Limitations may apply. Now is the time when vermin will be invading your home and causing damage, including expensive rodent damage your homeowner's insurance almost certainly won't cover. Call Terminix experts for a free inspection and details on a guaranteed solution. 1-800-229-3342. 1-800-229-3342.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM. KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Nutzler.
What am I planning to do? Have a good meal, see my family.
Alleged mob captain Vinny Acero, the 80-year-old, acquitted of extortion and racketeering charges in the 1978 Lufthansa heist at New York's Kennedy Airport. It inspired the movie Goodfellas. More than 100 women who blame their pregnancies on a packaging error are suing Endo Pharmaceuticals and other companies. The pills were out of order. The previous president resigned over his handling of racially charged incidents on campus. Michael Middleton just appointed interim president at the University of Missouri.
I've been a part of this community for over 30 years, both as a professor and an administrator. But first as an undergraduate student, graduating in 1968.
Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
Do you have low back or neck pain? Does it run down your arms or your legs? Do you have a bulging or herniated disc degeneration, or spinal arthritis? Even worse, have you been told you need back surgery or injections? If you answered yes, then please listen to what I have to say. My name is Dr. Chad Glines, DC, at Genesis Back and Neck, and I use the most advanced spinal decompression system available, the DRX 9000, to correct back problems just like yours. We don't use addictive drugs, and we don't use any type of dangerous, invasive surgery for these problems. Spinal decompression is safe, FDA cleared, and it's not painful, and has about an 86% success rate. We accept most insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. You will sit down and visit with me personally until I've answered all of your questions. And if you're a candidate for decompression, you can try out the treatment all at no charge to you. So if you're ready to not hurt anymore and don't want to have surgery, call me at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922, or online at mylowback.com.
American Leak Detection. Leak detection without destruction. We find leaks without bashing a hole.
Hi, Will Nell with American Leak Detection. The summer may have started off wet, but a quick turnaround saw DFW dry out in typical Texas fashion. All that dry summer weather can damage your home's foundation, but not in the way you may think. When the weather is dry, many people believe their foundation is failing, when in fact, what you have is a plumbing leak. Leaking pipes under your slab can cause movement in your foundation and expensive damage to your home. So before you have your foundation fixed, you should get your plumbing checked. With state-of-the-art technology, American Leak Detection is the only name to call. We are the original leak specialists. We can locate your plumbing leak without destruction and then repair it. Don't let a plumbing leak under your foundation go undetected or waste money on unnecessary foundation repair. Go to AmericanLeakDetection.com today. That's AmericanLeakDetection.com.
American Leak Detection.
One day, we were like, hey, you know what would be great?
What's that?
A huge Christmas party this December. Let's say December 5th.
Fun.
Hey, you know who we should invite?
Ooh, how about Toby Mack? Call him.
So we did. Dude, Toby, hey, call up some of your closest friends. We're throwing a party.
Yeah, we holla at you.
So here's your official invite. Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Max. This is not a test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guests Britt Nicole. Colton Dixon. And Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
My name's Kirk Cameron, and together with Warren Barfield, we are putting on an incredible event that is designed to fireproof marriages. Maybe you saw the movie Fireproof. Maybe that resonated in your heart and in the heart of your church and your community. Well, this event, in essence, takes the movie and turns it into a live experience. We want to pull down as many barriers and walls that would separate us from coming together around the gospel for the sake of building up our marriages and our families. If we're concerned about the future of the church, we've got to heal the family, and it's got to be done in a gospel-centered way. That's what Love Worth Fighting For is all about.
Join us at the Love Worth Fighting For event featuring Kirk Cameron in Allen, Euless, and Cleburne, November 13th through 15th. Tickets and more information at loveworthfightingfor.com or call 800-965-9324.
I spend my days helping others. It's rewarding, just not always financially. So I got TIAA-CREF. They were founded to help people like me meet our financial goals. They've got so many industry accolades, it's unreal. I like taking care of people. Sometimes that even includes myself.
Intelligent investing for the long term. Just what you'd expect from a company that's created to serve and built to perform. Visit TIAA.org. TIAA-CREF Individual and Institutional Services, LLC. This testimonial is an act of portrayal. Investing involves risk. Individual results will vary.
660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. How are you doing? Telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. So I don't know whether you were paying attention or not, but the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, a panel of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, turned aside President Obama's executive amnesty. That was a very, very, very good thing. And oh, by the way, someone is here to talk about it. Yeah. You know that when we play this theme music, a sharp-dressed man is about to join us. In fact, from the Texas 32nd, Congressman Pete Sessions joins us on the Wells Report right here. There you go, sir.
Such a cool song to get fired up for. Let me tell you, what you have just teed up is exactly right.
Yeah.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals out of New Orleans has upheld Judge Andy Hanen's ruling, and it now means that this administration has been not only been adjudicated, but found that they have violated federal law and the law as it relates to their authority to make law. And it's a powerful thing when a federal judge does these things, and then it's backed up by the Court of Appeals. So very powerful position for those of us who are for the rule of law.
Not just a federal judge, but a Texas federal judge. Judge Andrew Hanen is the guy that originally handed this down. And and I was very, very happy the Fifth Circuit upheld him.
Well, it's an interesting case to begin with because it actually took some 25 or 26 states as interveners who were required within the President Obama's executive orders. They were requiring states to do certain notices and things that dealt with their driver's licenses. They were putting off federal mandates that were against the law, and the court was very clear when it said that they did not believe that the president had the jurisdiction. They held first a temporary restraining order, which went then originally to the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals upheld that, and then they had the trial, and then that trial has now resulted in this. So it's very interesting. What does this go back to? It goes back to literally January when there was a big fight, and you'll recall that there was a big debate about whether Congress should be a party to this issue or not. And we argued rather vehemently that we should not, Congress should not get involved in this. And the reason why is at the other end of our political disputes is the Senate, to get closer, into the White House with the president, who would never disagree with himself. And so we said, let's let the court handle this on the basis of the law. So it proved, I think, itself out that Judge Hainan had the authority and the responsibility. And so once again, just it takes a little bit of time, but it's proof worthy.
Well, it certainly has, and it did take something off the table that was a big concern. I mean, there is no doubt about the fact that every time especially on matters of having to do with immigration and so on, whenever a legislative remedy was put forward, the people putting forward the legislative remedy were immediately chastised as being bigots, which was, I think, the most heavy-handed and most cynical abuse of this process and so on that I have seen. And it's mean-spirited just on its face. And while I'm very, very acutely concerned about matters of this kind being settled in the courts, I see your point and I agree with you. This is probably the only way it could have gotten done.
Well, I think what we tried to see was a judge who we believed would rule on the basis of the law. But what actually happened, and I am not a close court observer. You'll recall my father was a federal district judge. I've been around for 14 years. I've been around federal judges. I understand probably some of the procedures, but mostly their resolve and power that they have. But what happened is that this judge actually asked for information, and the president, through his own orders, did not stop the work that was being done on these visas. And the judge actually called the president to task and ordered the attorney general to cease and desist, I believe, or he was going to put one of the assistant U.S. attorneys in jail for violating his original order. So it got contentious with the Obama administration on their not just insistence that they were correct, but that what they were going to do to really take on the judge. And we just can't go to these measures, whether we agree with it or not always. Following the court's orders is important, and that is because if the President of the United States and the Department of Justice choose not to follow them, why should any one individual be expected to do the same?
From the Texas 32nd, we're talking with Congressman Pete Sessions here on 660 AM The Answer. He's going to be with us for a couple of segments. If you have a question, please join us at 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. So there are some other things that are going on in this particular issue, and they are exceedingly. They're seeing the difficulty with the circumstance that we have in the immigration system at this point is getting to the point where the frustration is becoming painful. A man who used a vehicle to run over a Dallas police officer is an illegal alien who had been deported 3 times over the past 11 years. Eduardo Gonzalez Rios is in Dallas County Jail after being treated for a gunshot wound, by the way. He's currently being held on 3 counts of aggravated assault on a public servants and immigration and customs enforcement officials placed a detainer on him. What are they going to do? Deport him again? Dallas Police Corporal Ed Lujan was working an off-duty job, was in uniform, and Gonzalez Rios was escorted out of a nightclub. Officers escorted him to his vehicle. Gonzalez Rios allegedly backed his SVU into one officer. Then he drove forward, jumping a curb, completely running over Lujan. And he'd been deported 3 times over the past 11 years. Now, enough with the sanctuary cities. They are absolutely violations of American law. I do not know how they stand, and it's epically ridiculous to me.
In fact, it is, and among other things, we believe in this country in something called rule of law, but we have a integrated law enforcement, including federal law enforcement, and Congress provides a lot of money. So as you know, when we dropped this bill around July the 31st, Senator Jeff Sessions and myself, to make a comprehensive viewpoint of not only the sanctuary city issue, but the need to make sure that if a sanctuary city, any sanctuary city, does not provide the following necessary feedback and working with federal law enforcement, and likewise federal law enforcement with them, that a city could lose the federal funding. What would that mean to Dallas, Texas? Well, what it means is our governor, Greg Abbott, has now followed up exactly on our legislation and said to the sheriff of Dallas County, Lupe Gonzalez, that he will use the powers of the state of Texas to ensure that sanctuary cities are not around in Texas. And so that would mean that around $10 million would be restricted from Dallas County to work in their law enforcement effort. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I think that Lupe Valdez, the sheriff, is absolutely, completely wrong in that, and in so doing, that I believe, I don't know why. I mean, why doesn't someone? I guess it would have to be President Obama. Why doesn't someone in the administration or somebody in government just close down all federal offices? Because obviously, if they're not interested in federal law, close down all the federal offices in Dallas. Stop all funding from the federal government to Dallas, and do it for 90 days. I mean, don't do it for just for a day or an hour or what have you. I mean, do it for 90 days. I mean, literally, if you want to be a sanctuary city, if you want to be a city unto your own, here's what it's like.
Well, that may be a good idea. What I would suggest to you is that the legislation which we have filed would begin the debate that Congress needs to have, that needs to take place in our own cities. And by the way, as if we don't have enough debate here about what local government is doing, and to discuss forthrightly that the taking federal money and not following the procedures that are the underpinning of our country to keep us safe, to give an advantage, a literal advantage, to people who might be from other places other than this country over any other American citizen who certainly would be held. So here's the key to the whole matter. The key is that it's up to a city to decide who they arrest. We're simply saying if you've chosen to arrest a person and they are not a United States citizen, that you have to share that information with the federal government, and that the federal government has to have, instead of a patchwork of laws and regulations about how they deal with these guidelines, that they need to have a uniform view. And I believe it's in our best interest to make sure we get criminal aliens off our streets and to deal effectively with them. And that's where we come in with needing a border policy where we provide more, not only manpower, but certainty behind when a person is caught about what would happen to them entering this country.
We are speaking with Congressman Pete Sessions of the Texas 32nd. He is a dear friend of our broadcast, and we sincerely appreciate it every chance he has to join us. If you have a question, please join us at 866-660-5759. Congressman Sessions will be more than happy to help you out with that. Also coming up, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the interesting things happening politically in Washington, D.C. As a matter of fact, we have a brand new Speaker of the House, Speaker Paul Ryan. We will get Congressman Pete Sessions' perspective on the change of leadership in the Republican or in the House of Representatives, and certainly in the Republican caucus as well, as we return here on 660 AM The Answer. Once again, if you have a question for Congressman Pete Sessions, now's the time. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759 is our telephone number. You are listening to the Wells Report on kind of I got a little chilly this afternoon. It's a little chilly out there. Have you noticed? I'm just saying. I really like it. It's really kind of nice. Fall has fell. Finally. You're listening to the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. More with Congressman Pete Sessions in a moment. Stay right there. $100 million has been given to liberal candidates by major mobile cell phone companies, and it's affecting our nation badly. $100 million. You know what that turns into? 10,000 liberal politicians now in power at local, state, and national level. Did you know that? Did you know that your money was being spent that way? I mean, it's not your money because you're paying for a service by one of these big major mobile companies, but still, at the end of the day, do you want your money to be used in that fashion? I don't think so. That's why EOS Mobile is the only mobile company that pledges to support conservative causes, groups, and candidates to the tune of 5% of the money that they make. EOS Mobile plans are 10 to 15% lower in price than the big guys for the same package of phone, data, text, and talk. They also have the latest smartphones. They've got the latest iPhones, including the iPhone 6 Plus. If you like one of those great big phones, you should get a hold of it. And you can do so by contacting EOS Mobile. Yeah. By the way, if you're an Android person, they've got the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. If you're somebody that just wants a phone and maybe something that sends out texts, maybe. By the way, EOS Mobile has got you covered as well. You got a contract with the big guys? No problem. EOS Mobile will buy you out of it. Plus, you'll be able to keep your same telephone number. Look, if you want to know what kind of situation they've got going, check out their blog on their website and look at their coverage map. You'll be amazed. Contact EOS Mobile for more information. Here's how you do it. Go to www.eoscell.com, www.eoscell.com, all one word, all lowercase, eoscell.com. Get in touch. Tell them you heard about it on the Wells Report.
More of the Wells Report is coming up next on 660 AM. The Answer.
There has to be more to life. Don't you want to get the most out of it that you possibly can? If you're tired of not finding that perfect fix, then you need to tune into the Live More Wellness Show every Saturday night starting at 5 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. Each week, learn how you can live more and experience all that life has to offer. Host Patty Parker will give you the tools that you need to make you the best you can be. But you have to tune in every Saturday night starting at 5 p.m. to learn those secrets. That's the Live More Wellness Show, Saturday nights at 5 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey folks, Mike Raichi here, sales manager of 660 AM The Answer. And if you are a business owner, I want to talk specifically to you. For this week only, we have a unique opportunity for you at 660 AM The Answer. We partnered up with Christian Solidarity International. CSI is the organization that delivers food and medical treatment to victims of religious persecution in hotspots around the globe. We are asking business owners to donate $2,500 to CSI. In exchange for your generous donation, you'll receive a professionally written and produced advertising campaign to run on 660 AM The Answer during the next 90 days absolutely free. It'll run during programming you listen to every day, like Mark Davis, Jon-David Wells, Sean Hannity, and others. You'll be helping this important cause and helping your business all at the same time. It's a win-win. And what CSI does is truly worthwhile. More Christians are being persecuted right now than any other time since early history. We are only offering this program until Friday, so call us today to get started. The number is 214-561-2164. That's 214-561-2164. One last time, 214-561-2164. Thank you.
Hey, it's Mark Davis with a message for the fall from my friends at Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They do them both, air conditioning and heating, as their name suggests. And obviously, when the weather's hot, they're your AC company. But now, in the fall, as the temperatures drop, Walker Air Conditioning and Heating focuses on heating your heating system, making sure it's working great. Call them at 972-4-WALKER. 972, the number 4, Walker, or WalkerAC.com. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're my company. Make them your company. For repairs at a fair price, if you need something replaced, they got all the great brands at all the best prices. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. Don't head into the cooler months with a heating system that's not working right. Get it fixed right or replaced at the best prices with the best products. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, 972-4-WALKER. 972-4-WALKER. 972, the number 4, Walker, or WalkerAC.com. A company that's been around more than 50 years. You can trust them. I love them. 972-4-WALKER or WalkerAC.com.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. The LASIK Vision Institute is now offering dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology for a fraction of what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-944-5266. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve at a fraction of what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-944-5266. 1-800-944-5266.
This year has flown by, but there are still things you can do to protect your retirement portfolio and prepare for next year. If ever there was a time to attend a free Money Matters retirement seminar, it is now. Choose 7 p.m. Tuesday, November 17th, Hilton Garden Inn, Alliance Airport. 7 p.m. Thursday, November 19th, Hilton Rockwall. Or Saturday, November 21st, 1 p.m. in the Money Matters building in Plano. Clients that followed Ken's advice were out of the market in 2008. Register at moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
660 AM, The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You know, I have to be honest. When Pete Sessions joins us, I have great conversations with the congressman when we're off the air, and I really enjoy those, sir. And thank you so much for sharing yet another one of them with me today. It's awfully nice of you.
Well, you know, the VA is one of the exhibit A's of what is worst about government.
Yes.
Where they're not even willing to fix it, they simply defend it. And then you look at Denver, Colorado, where it's over $1 billion over budget in building a VA hospital.
Well, and the thing about it is that earlier this week it was reported that $142 million in bonuses have been paid out to these people that are killing our veterans. Yeah. Now they didn't start. Yeah, it's neglect. Yeah,
covering up.
It is, and it's a situation where these people did not get into the VA to kill our veterans, but because it is a government project that is outside the purvey of what a government can do, even if it tries, because it is outside that purvey, people are dying, and nobody's paying attention. Hillary Clinton just the other day talking about how there's nothing, everything that's wrong with the VA is basically being trumpeted up in the press. There are no real problems there. 300,000 of my fellow brothers and sisters in the military died waiting for care at VA hospitals. That's almost as many as died in the Civil War. They don't have to, they fought across the earth. They don't need to fight for health care to put them back together again when they get home.
Unconscionable.
And the way to do it, of course, is unconscionable to the bureaucrats of the VA. What they have to do is they have to abolish themselves, and what they have to do is turn themselves into a procurement agency that accesses through big contracts, accesses health care from community health providers. And they do these contracts, and then they enforce those contracts. That's how these people who have done so much for us get treated properly medically in the future. And then that's what has to happen. And it also reduces the huge amount of money that the government spends on it. It just gets better every moment. Anyway, I don't mean to I don't mean to preach to you, sir. It's like preaching to the ultimate choir.
Well, I'll tell you, these discussions do need to take place with the American people, and I'll tell you why. When the bill did come out this last summer, universally, the veteran community, and I'm sure it's not the ones necessarily that we always listen to, but they came and said, you must let the VA live and you must let them fix themselves. It was like the last ditch effort. And then we found out, oh, they didn't really mean it.
Yeah.
And so, it's one thing to give someone a second or third chance. It's another to be completely deceived. And the next time, Congress will not be so benevolent.
Congressman Pete Sessions, it's always a pleasure to have you, like I've said. Thank you so much for the time that you give us. We'll look forward to talking to you again very, very soon. And until then, have a good time. Absolutely. God bless you too, sir. Congressman Pete Sessions joining us. Your telephone calls 866-660-5759 are next. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
We all know life can get crazy and you're not always near a radio, but one thing is for sure, your phone goes everywhere with you. And now we can too. Download the 660 AM The Answer app to your phone and listen live wherever you go. If you miss any of the Mark Davis Show or the Wells Report, you can catch up whenever, wherever. Plus, dial the 660 AM The Answer studio directly from the app. And it's free. We make it easy to stay connected. Download our app now. 660 AM The Answer.
Now you can hear the Joy of a Rich Retirement radio show at its new time, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Listen to Dr. W. Neil Gallagher and Matthew Gallagher as they explain how you can have a worry-free retirement. They'll also help you make sense of today's financial headlines. Planning for your retirement is not an option. Get the advice you need to achieve financial success in these uncertain times. Listen to the Joy of a Rich Retirement at its new time this Saturday at 1 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
What would an extra $250 a month mean to you? For some, it's a little financial breathing room. For others, it's a car payment, a home repair, or help with college tuition. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I've got some great news if you're looking to save money on your mortgage. All it takes is a simple phone call to Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. Folks who refinance with HARP can save an average of $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year. Our home loan experts fully understand the HARP guidelines, and they'll walk you through our streamlined process. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for more information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Viascan of Las Colinas. You ever hear seeing is believing? It's true. You know what else seeing can be? The difference between life and death. Seeing heart plaques and blockages so that you can know that you might be about to have a heart attack. Seeing the beginnings of cancer festering in some of your internal organs, finding it before it gets so big that it's inoperable. This is affordable preventive health care at Viascan of Las Colinas. This is what they've done for a decade and a half. John Duncan and the crew, they've done it for me. They can do it for you. 972-739-2840. Call them, make an appointment, and know what's going on. See what's going on inside your heart, inside various other organs. 972-739-2840. Bunches of specials, making it even more affordable. I love these folks, and you'll love them too when maybe, just maybe, they save your life. Seeing is believing. So see what's going on inside your heart, inside other vital organs at Viascan of Las Colinas. 972-739-2840 or 123bodyscan.com.
You want to feel connected, informed, included, inspired. So when important things happen, we're here. Your local radio and TV broadcasters. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information on your radio, TV, computer, tablet, and smartphone. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Tell Washington local stations matter by texting radio to 52886. Furnished by NAB and the station. Message and data rates may apply.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through December 31st, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
At Texas Gun Pros, we like to make gun safety, gun education, and gun buying a non-intimidating experience. You don't want to be talked down to. You just want to exercise your Second Amendment right. At Texas Gun Pros, we want to help you regardless of your experience level. From beginning handgun classes to the new license to carry, our professionals will work with you at your level to accomplish your training goals. Visit us on the web at TexasGunPros.com. That's TexasGunPros.com. And see how it feels to be a member of the Texas Gun Pros family.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AMTheAnswer.com. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. Miss Lavina, welcome to the Wells Report. Hi.
Hi. I've got one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
You recall many years ago, about, I guess, 11 years ago, when everybody was marching in the street waving Mexican flags and Viva Mexico?
Yep.
My illegal neighbors that I had marched in that march and told me that they had been registered or filled out a card to register to vote.
Yep.
And my question is, how can we stop this stuff? Because I've called the state, I've called the local election office in Dallas County. They said there's virtually nothing they can do.
Well, that is not the case, actually. There is something they can do, and strangely enough, it's going to be done. I can't tell you everything about this case, but tomorrow a case is going to drop where a woman who is an illegal immigrant is going to be charged with voter fraud. Yeah, she's already been charged. It's going to be announced that she has been charged with voter fraud. So those people who are here in the United States that are voting illegally, it may take a while to get you, but we are going to get you. And by the way, Lavina, the next time, here's what you can do. The next time somebody comes up with this lame-brained idea to either turn aside Texas's voter ID law or to allow illegal immigrants to have Texas driver's licenses, you call me on the telephone and you vehemently protest.
You got that.
Okay? I want you to do that because these people are just going to continue running over us until we stop them. It's time to stop them. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. What I want to do is I want to give you some Republican news. There's Republican news, and I'll share it with you in case you don't know. Bob Christie from the Associated Press is reporting the Republican presidential candidate, Ben Carson, said today the U.S.-Mexico border could be secured in 1 year and promised to finish a job that has taken decades to come close to accomplishing. The political newcomer told a telephone town hall audience in Arizona that double fencing and more Border Patrol officers, National Guard troops, and technology can get the job done. He's absolutely true. He's absolutely correct. As a matter of fact, Rick Perry proved it here in Texas. All we have to do is agree upon doing it, and I believe that we wouldn't have any problem doing that in less than a year. That's what he told the audience. I don't make political promises. That's as close to one as I would make. I will say this. Ben Carson might very well be able to get something like that done. However, he's got to remember that the Democrat Party if they continue, if they persist, they are going to stake out the amnesty position. Ted Cruz said it brilliantly last night, or night before last. I'm sorry. He said that if indeed the Republicans join the Democrats in this idea for amnesty, we will lose. He is completely correct. We have to stand for the rule of law. And by the way, that was something else that I think Carly Fiorina said. She did, as a matter of fact. It was one of her brilliant statements that got sort of left off the brilliant statement list from Carly Fiorina. And that's understandable because she makes a lot of them. Brilliant statements, I mean. And that is this. She said that we have become a nation of rules instead of a nation of laws. And she hit it right on the button. The retired neurosurgeon, among the leaders in the crowded GOP field, said he'd allow people in the country illegally to stay as guest workers, but would not carve out a special path to citizenship for them. They would all have to register within 6 months. If they don't get registered in that 6-month period, they are illegals and will be treated accordingly. But if they get registered during that time and they have a pristine record, they will be able to be guest workers in areas where we need guest workers. They have to pay a back tax penalty. They have to pay taxes going forward. Employers would also have to chip in for their health insurance, said Carson. So we'll see. But unless there is some kind of sanction against employers that would exploit illegal labor, this isn't going to go very far. But at least Carson's out there talking about it. Speaking of immigration, a long simmering debate over immigration in the Republican presidential contest boiled over as Senator Ted Cruz accused his colleague, Senator Marco Rubio, of trying to jam this amnesty down American people's throats. This being reported in the politics section of the New York Times. Maggie Haberman and Matt Flegenheimer reporting that from appearances on conservative talk radio to the campaign trail in South Carolina and New Hampshire, 5 Republican candidates jumped on the issue as they sought to appeal to grassroots conservatives alarmed about immigration. And the eruption of open warfare between Mr. Rubio and Mr. Cruz, 2 candidates representing different wings of the party, showed the likely contours of the Republican presidential fight as it hurtles towards the Iowa caucuses, now less than 90 days away. Yeah, I hear that. And Marco Rubio is going to have to come to grips with his amnesty position. It is a no-go, and it will hurt him if he decides to pursue it. The Washington Examiner, reporting by Al Weaver, talks about Carson slamming Trump on deportations and would listen to a path to citizenship. A day after the 4th GOP debate, Ben Carson took a hatchet to Donald Trump's plan to deport millions of illegal immigrants living in the U.S. In an exclusive interview with the Washington Examiner before a private fundraiser outside Richmond, Virginia, Carson took aim at Trump's deportation push, saying it will hurt the billionaire candidate more than the Republican Party. I think they hurt Donald Trump in the long run, Carson said. I think there are enough people who know that there are others in the race that are very reasonable. I don't think he necessarily is the representation of the Republican Party. Far from it. Like I keep saying, I've got a plan. And I probably ought to talk about it. It's been a while since we've done it. But let me give you the rest of this GOP news. By the way, Republican presidential candidates are trying to figure out just exactly what a conservative is. A conservative is somebody that wants to get the government out of people's lives. That's a conservative. And there are a lot of things that you can't do as a conservative that are being done by Republicans. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, when these Republicans get together and try to define a conservative, they lose. Conservatism is more than what the Republican Party can get their arms around. Because the Republican Party is not, in virtually its entirety, willing to back away from being the party of political opportunism and political expedience. You saw it with John Boehner. John Boehner leaves as the Speaker of the House. He leaves as Speaker of the House. And what ends up happening is he does a 2-year budget deal, taking the budget completely off the table for the next 2 years in the presidential campaign. That was a major favor for the Democrat Party in this presidential campaign season. The presidential candidates of the Democrat Party cannot hide from the budget disaster that the Obama administration has been. Can't hide from it. The entire Democrat Party can't hide from it. But they got political cover from John Boehner, who seems to be willing to govern in spite of Americans instead of representing them. It's unbelievable. So, go ahead, you Republicans. Keep trying to figure out what a conservative is. They've never figured it out. They never will, even when Ronald Reagan showed them. Let's see. Ted Cruz and Donald Trump are running neck and neck for the allegiance of Texas Republicans ahead of next year's presidential primary. This, according to the latest University of Texas Tribune poll. Each man favored by 27% among likely Republican primary voters. Ross Ramsey reports this in the Texas Tribune. They polled well ahead of the 13% support for third-place finisher Ben Carson and 9% support given by Marco Rubio. And by the way, I wasn't the only conservative in the United States that thought that John Kasich's boorish debate performance was going to hurt him. He had been polling nationally about 3% for the Republican Party. He made a gamble which failed. He interjected, intruded, and just butted in. He is very desperate. There is no doubt about it. And I will tell you, the current governor of Ohio really embarrassed himself. Totally embarrassed himself. And you will see massive erosion in his support for what was paltry support, but you will see massive erosion in that as the weeks continue here. Then there's this. Philip Rucker, Robert Costa reporting in the Washington Post. Less than 3 months before the kickoff of the Iowa caucuses, there's growing anxiety bordering on panic among Republican elites about the dominance and durability of Donald Trump and Ben Carson, and widespread bewilderment over how to defeat them. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I had a conversation, and I've told you this before. I had a conversation with a congressional delegation. It was off the record, so I don't talk about it, except to tell you that it happened and to tell you what I said. What I said is that the party needed to return to being the party of the people, representing the American people, and a conservative Republican Party. And they said, we don't understand why it is that people consider conservatism to be so important. Which showed me the amazing blind spot in the upper reaches of Republican thinking. They're blind to the fact that a big Republican government is no better than a big Democrat government. American government, just as Ronald Reagan said it, is the problem. And it's right there in front of them. Continuing with a report from the Washington Post, party leaders and donors fear nominating either man, Donald Trump or Ben Carson, would have negative ramifications for the GOP ticket up and down the ballot, virtually ensuring a Hillary Rodham Clinton presidency and increasing the odds of the Senate falls into Democrat hands. You know what that is? That's garbage. It's absolute garbage. Since President Obama has taken office, from the state level up, since President Obama has taken office, Democrat politicians have lost 900 seats to Republicans. The Democrat Party is going to have trouble maintaining the numbers they have in the United States Senate. If they don't get their crap together in the next election cycle or two, the midterms of 2018, the Republicans are going to have a supermajority in the Senate. That is the situation. And all these party leaders, again, they're saying, my goodness gracious, we could lose up and down the ticket. That's because they don't know what they're doing. The party establishment is paralyzed. Big money still on the sidelines. No consensus alternative to the outsiders. Well, that's because nobody is worth it. Ted Cruz is an outsider. The Republican Party hates him and has said so. And if the Republican Party hates you, you got a real good chance of getting elected, my friend. What does that tell the Republican Party leadership? Nothing. They don't see anything about that. Meanwhile, the governor with the best record in Republican politics for the last 8 years, Rick Perry, not in the race. The second best Republican governor in the party, Scott Walker, not in the race. Chris Christie, no traction. Jindal, no traction. And on and on. John Kasich is a joke. The Republican Party is blind to what it takes to win. And they refuse to ask for help. This is the Wells Report.
How will the future affect the money decisions you make now? Find out Saturday morning with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell on Smart Money. Smart Money will bring you the latest information regarding financial markets and what it means to you and your investment and retirement portfolio. Not knowing could be costly. Smart Money, a voice of experience and integrity, with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell. Saturday mornings at 8 on 660 AM. The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Donald Trump's appearance as host on Saturday Night Live generated big ratings, but did it help his pursuit of the presidency? If you believe his top priority must be to convince the public that he's serious about the world's biggest job, the answer is that SNL probably hurt more than it helped. On NBC, he looked more comfortable delivering carefully scripted lines with hip comedians on a studio set than he does in unscripted debates with his fellow candidates, highlighting his decades-long background with Broadway and Hollywood. That's not the preparation that normally would reassure uncertain conservatives. Meanwhile, his funniest skit on SNL showed the Trump White House in 2018 with all the nation's foreign and domestic problems suddenly solved. When asked how he did it, President Trump shrugs and says, "It was magic, inexplicable." It doesn't help a candidate's credibility when a TV vision of his presidency is treated as a joke. I'm Michael Medved.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. November, the month of Thanksgiving. If you'd like to be thankful for better vision, listen up, because my friends at Climate Evangelista are teaming up with the Rush Creek Food Pantry to host their Food for Sight drive to help feed local families in need, and they want you to join the mission. Drop off 5 non-perishable food items to one of the Climate Evangelista Eye Center locations in either Arlington or Plano, or their newest location in the Knox-Henderson neighborhood of Dallas, and they'll give you an official gift certificate, $1,500 off LASIK. Not bad. For details, give them a shout at 1-800-714-2020. 1-800-714-2020. Climate Evangelista cares about feeding DFW families. I know you do too, so drop off your food items, pick up your LASIK gift certificate, and give yourself an early holiday gift. Live better by seeing better with my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. 1-800-714-2020. 1-800-714-2020. Or visit LASIK, LASIK, LASIKsurgery.com.
For all of you who love to give thoughtful holiday cards that are a true reflection of you.
For all of you who love the holiday cards you send to make it to the mantles and refrigerators of your loved ones.
For all of you who are inspired to create your own holiday cards and just need the simple tools to bring your holiday vision to life.
For all of you, there's Vistaprint.com. At Vistaprint.com, making your own unique holiday cards is simple and easy. There are hundreds of designs to choose from. You can include your own message, even upload your own photos from Facebook. And right now, they're 50% off. Plus, right now, you can also get up to 50% off one-of-a-kind gifts like personalized mugs, calendars, canvas prints, and more. And because it's Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. But hurry, this holiday offer ends soon. To get 50% off all quantities, styles, sizes, and stocks of personalized holiday cards and up to 50% off personalized holiday gifts, go to Vistaprint.com and enter code CARD50 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com. Code CARD50.
How much of your life are you losing because of pain? I'm Dr. Chad Glines, DC at Genesis Back and Neck, and I really do want to give you your life back.
My name is Russell, and I have scoliosis. I didn't realize that spinal decompression could help someone like me, but I heard the commercial for Dr. Chad, and I thought, why not? We sat down and talked, and today there's improvement, which is pretty amazing because the whole process is really easy. Dr. Chad's staff was very welcoming. They made the process seamless. They made me feel so comfortable. Having scoliosis, I didn't realize that spinal decompression was an option for me, but I'm so glad today that I heard the commercial and I did something about it. So if you're hurting, you should call Dr. Chad.
That just blesses me to hear that. At Genesis, we accept most major insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. Call me. 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922 or online at genesisback.com.
I got hooked on Ancestry when I found my great-grandfather's draft card. With one visit to tryancestry.com, I also found other ancestors and the battles they fought in. Medals awarded, even photographs. These discoveries were pretty emotional. What about the heroes in your family? In honor of Veterans Day, visit tryancestry.com for free access to global military records. Find, preserve, and celebrate your ancestors' military journeys. Free access is only until Wednesday at tryancestry.com. Tryancestry.com.
660 AM, The Answer. Now, the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
The news for Christians in the Middle East can be encompassed with one word: genocide. Christians are having a real tough time, and it's time for us to help. Thankfully, Christian Solidarity International is getting together with 660 AM The Answer to come up with some solutions. There are ways for you to donate money to deliver food assistance, medical treatment, life-saving aid to victims of religious terrorism around the globe, especially in the Middle East and in North Africa. There is a way to do this that can empower and help out your business, the Business Benefactor Program. If you have $2,500 or more to donate this week only to Christian Solidarity International, you will receive an advertising campaign on 660 AM The Answer absolutely free. We will write and produce the commercials, and oh, by the way, if you want me to, I will voice them for free. I make a lot of money around the country doing voice work, and I would love to donate my voice work for your advertising campaign for free. Here's what you do. Contact my friend Mike Krejci, okay? 214-561-2164. That's 214-561-2164. This is your opportunity to be able to get involved and get free advertising on 660amtheanswer.com, one of the most important radio stations anywhere in North Texas. Again, call Mike Krejci right now, 214-561-2164. Let's get together and support Christians around the world. This is the Wells Report. Back with more in just a moment.
Dennis Prager gives free advice to all GOP candidates.
Every candidate needs to announce, we're not running against Hillary Clinton alone. We're not running against Barack Obama alone. We're running against the left and the Democratic Party. They are ruining the United States of America. It just needs to be said over and over and over and over. You are ruining our country. You are ruining our country.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM, The Answer.
20 plus years of unemployment. That's what retirement is, or should be. But imagine still working when you're 75 because you didn't have an exit plan for the next stock market crash. If you think your current plan has too much risk, or you're tired of paying hidden fees, listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Saturdays at 4 p.m. Rick and Kevin will tell you the truth about the financial world we live in. No one knows when the next correction will be, so listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Saturdays at 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
How would you like to make up to $20,000 a month flipping houses with no risk? Hi, my name is Nick Vertucci, and over the last 2 years, my elite team of house flippers have flipped over 800 properties by using my 3-step flipping system that guarantees quick profits. And this year, we plan to double it. I'm growing my team in your area, and I'm looking for help. I have more cash available than deals right now, so I need you. All interested candidates, call now and take an inside peek of my flipping system. I'll rush you out a free copy of my Fortunes and Flipping CD kit that will show you how easy it is to get in, get out, and get paid immediately flipping houses if you come join my team.
Call 1-800-615-1936 now to get your free flipping kit. Call 800-615-1936, and you'll also get free tickets to a training workshop that includes a free meal, a smartphone watch, and a USB flash drive loaded with Nick's powerful information as free gifts just for attending. Call 800-615-1936. That's 800-615-1936.
Don't miss Colt Veterans Day savings this Wednesday only. Take $10 off your purchase of $25 or more. That's on top of already great savings, like 40 to 60% off sweaters, fleece, and outerwear for the whole family. Plus, everyone gets $10 Kohl's cash for every $50 spent. Don't miss the one-day only doorbusters this Wednesday at Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. More controversial comments by Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. They're about rival Ben Carson and what he wrote in his autobiography about his behavior as a troubled teen. Trump telling CNN Carson has a pathological temper that can't be cured any more than a child molester can be cured. At a campaign event in Iowa, Trump again taking on people who came to this country illegally.
You get a place to live, you get health care, housing, child benefits, and in many cases, education. You wonder why we're a debtor nation. You wonder why our country's going to hell.
President Obama telling ABC News Trump's proposal to deport millions of illegals is unrealistic and would cost hundreds of billions of dollars. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
It's Baylor Bears football right here on 660 AM The Answer. Join John Morris and JJ Joe as they bring you every bone-jarring hit and sensational touchdown as the Bears compete for the Big 12 title. Tune in this Saturday as the Baylor Bears take on the Oklahoma Sooners. The pregame starts at 6:30 p.m. and the kickoff's at 7 p.m. Everything heard right here on 660 AM The Answer. Don't you wish you had a real estate friend who was in the trenches and on the pulse of the local DFW real estate market, finances, financial management, mortgage loans, estate taxes, and much more? Well, now you have two of them. Make sure to tune in every Saturday at 2 p.m. and Sunday at 5 p.m. and find out why everyone is talking about the DFW Real Estate Radio Show with Bernie and Terry Christian. Call today at 817-269-1660 for you or someone you know who wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, leading the way to fine living Texas style.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from our friends at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. You ever hear the saying, it's all in a name? Well, that's their name, USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's what they do. It's their one focus, their one mission, to diagnose, fight, and defeat prostate cancer, a disease that affects 1 in 6 men in our lifetimes. So if you've got a family history of prostate cancer, you've been recently diagnosed, I urge you, visit with one of the renowned physicians at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's a unique place. They focus specifically on helping men defeat prostate cancer. How? A range of different treatments. Sometimes it's cryotherapy. Sometimes it's robotic surgery. It might be no surgery. Not everything is something that you jump on immediately. Call now for an appointment to ask any questions, 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. If you're hearing me talk about this and you know someone, recently diagnosed, a friend, a family member, coworker, somebody at church, put them on the phone to 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. That's how important this is. 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. USMD Prostate Cancer Center.
I remember the day when one of my best friends called and told me that his father had died. We cried together. This devastated his family, but even more devastating, they invested his death benefit in the stock market. And in the crash of 2008, they lost over $1 million. All of their hopes and dreams were shattered yet again. My name is Brent Tixon. After that market crash devastated my friend's family, I determined that would not happen to anyone else that I knew. After years of research, I did find a better way. So today, I'm giving you a free copy of my best-selling book, Secure Your Retirement Dreams with Safe Money. I reveal where the wealthy grow their money safely, get good rates of return, and get tax-free cash loans for retirement. All of this where you don't lose money in the market. If you're concerned about losing your hard-earned wealth in the next stock market crash, then call 1-800-391-0404 right now to get your free copy of Safe Money. The next 47 callers get free shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-391-0404.
Are you a business owner who's jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
Right now, your PC is under attack from the inside. It's the buildup over time from websites visited, email, attachments, sharing photos, and more. It can make your PC untrustworthy, exposing it to malware and spyware that's watching your every move. But who really knows how to clean their PC? That's where the Fix Me Stick comes in. Plug the Fix Me Stick into your PC and it removes all types of infections before they can run. You don't have to be techie. The Fix Me Stick does it all for you. It's a physical device with a complete virus removal system on the stick, so there's no software to download, install, or run. It's simple, safe, and you can do it yourself without anyone snooping through your PC. Results are guaranteed. Pick up a Fix Me Stick today at your local Best Buy or Staples. Keep your PC and save hundreds in tech fees. Plus, results are guaranteed. There's no software to download, install, or run. You don't have to be techie. The Fix Me Stick does it all for you. It's simple, safe, and you can do it yourself. Find the Fix Me Stick in-store at Best Buy and Staples. Pick one up today.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. This is not a partisan broadcast, no matter what people may say or believe. We report the news. Normally, I reinforce that when I'm about to say something that is not good for someone of the Democrat Party, and that is the case tonight. The FBI has expanded its probe of Hillary Clinton's emails. Agents now explore whether multiple statements violate a federal false statements statute. This, according to intelligence sources familiar with the ongoing case. This is bad. Fox News is told that agents are looking at U.S. Code 18, Section 1001, which pertains to materially false statements given in either writing, orally, or through a third party. Violations also include pressuring a third party to conspire in a cover-up. Each felony violation is subject to 5 years in prison. Somebody told General David Petraeus to go along with the video scenario. If General David Petraeus is smart, and if he has a smart lawyer, he will now say that he was indeed pressured to do so, which would clear up his name in a substantial way, and also substantially deteriorate or degrade whatever hold the Obama administration has over him. If he can lay the blame of following the video story, which he testified to in Congress, if he can say that he was being pressured by the Secretary of State at the time, he can rehabilitate himself dramatically in the eyes and thoughts of the American people. This phase represents an expansion of the FBI probe into Hillary Clinton's emails, which is also exploring potential violations of an Espionage Act provision relating to gross negligence in the handling of national defense information. The agents involved are under a lot of pressure and are busting their tails. That is a parenthetical edit. According to an intelligence source who was not sufficiently authorized to speak on the record. The section of the criminal code being explored is known as statements or entries generally and can be applied when an individual makes misleading or false statements, causing federal agents to expend additional resources and time. In this case, legal experts as well as a former FBI agent said Section 1001 could apply to Clinton. Her aides or attorney were not forthcoming with FBI agents about her emails. That is, if Clinton, her aides, or attorney were not forthcoming with FBI agents about her emails. Classification and whether not only non-government records were destroyed, it's not publicly known who may have been interviewed, and so on. Fox News judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano said the same section got Martha Stewart in trouble with the FBI. To be a violation, the statements do not need to be given under oath. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is a broad brush statute that punishes individuals who are not direct and fulsome in their answers, according to the FBI intelligence officer, Timothy Gill. Gill is not connected to the email investigation, but spent 16 years as a part of the Bureau's National Security Branch and worked the post 9/11 anthrax case, where considerable time was spent resolving discrepancies in Bruce Ivan's statements and his unusual work activities at Fort Detrick, Maryland. It is a coverall. The problem for a defendant is when their statements cause the Bureau to expend more time, energy, and resources to deconflict their statements with the evidence. Separately, 2 U.S. government officials told Fox News the FBI is doing its own classification review of the Clinton emails, effectively cutting out what has become a grinding process at the State Department. Undersecretary for Management Patrick Kennedy has argued to both Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and Congress that the top secret emails on Clinton's server could have been pulled from unclassified sources, including news reports. You want to go right to the source, Gill said. Go to the originating, not the collateral authority. Investigative protocol would demand that, which invalidates all the statements Patrick Kennedy said, all the statements James Clapper said. None of those people have anything to do with what's classified and what's not classified. Only the originating agency has that power. On last Friday, Clapper spokesman Brian Hale confirmed no change had been made to the 2 top secrets email emails after a Politico report saying the intelligence agency was retreating from the finding. ODNI has made no such determination. The review is ongoing. Andrea G. Williams, spokeswoman for the intelligence agency or intelligence community inspector general, said she had the same information. Kennedy is seeking an appeal. No one can explain what statute or executive order would give Clapper that authority. This is getting badly out of control. The Obama administration is going to have to cut their losses at some point in this. You see, if Loretta Lynch goes forward and does not do anything with this case, the Obama administration will be badly damaged as a corrupt organization bent only on politics, regardless of any kind of national security. If you can put together the fact that the President of the United States and his administration would set aside national security for the sake of their politics, President Barack Obama will go down in history as one of the most damaging presidents that ever sat in the Oval Office. This is bad. A U.S. government official not authorized to speak on the record said the FBI is identifying suspect emails and then going directly to the agencies who originated them and therefore own the intelligence and who, under the regulations, have final say on the classification. Wow. As Fox News previously reported, at least 4 classified Clinton emails had markings changed to a category that shields the content from Congress and the public, in what State Department whistleblowers believe is an effort to hide the true extent of the classified information on the former Secretary of State's server. Whoever is responsible for that is not just guilty of altering federal documents, but is also guilty of conspiracy. Whoever that person is, and it will be known because the FBI is going to be able to chase that person down. That person is going to get immunity from prosecution, or at least a hell of a plea bargain deal, because the FBI has that person cold. What the FBI will ask that person is, who told him or her to do it? And if that's Hillary Clinton, the book closes. And it can't be anybody else. There may be a situation where a chief of staff will step up and say, I said it. But why would that person do that? Because of a blind allegiance to Hillary Clinton? That's not going to fly. Remember what happened during Watergate. John Dean finally said, you know what? My skin's more valuable than the president's. And the whole thing came crashing down. And if you're saying that Watergate was far more important, it's because your memory is blurred by the years. Nobody died in Watergate. Politico is reporting a federal judge issued an order today that will sharply ramp up the volume of documents being released in a lawsuit demanding memos and emails from top aides to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. U.S. District Court Judge Rudolph Contreras instructed the State Department to move toward production of 2,200 pages of documents per month in the case by next summer, up from a rate of 700 pages a month he set at a hearing earlier this week. The schedule virtually guarantees a significant volume of records about Clinton, who is leading the Democrat candidacy for president, will be emerging through the primary and caucus season and into the heart of the general election next fall. By the way, remember that the State Department's production of 2,200 pages of documents per month has to do with the fact that Hillary Clinton had a private email server and was running all of her business through that server. And indeed, the State Department was beholden to Secretary Clinton to get any more information. So if you're wondering why the FBI would prefer a felony charge carrying 5 years imprisonment to somebody who was materially making false statements to the FBI and increasing their workload, that is what we're talking about. If that's not outright, whether it's not outright, oh goodness gracious, I'm playing with a mental block right now. What is it when you obstruction of justice? Thank you very much. Jesus. She didn't say it, by the way. I figured it out on my own. Okay. I solved my own mini stroke. Magic.
Speaking of a mini stroke, we have breaking news now.
We have breaking news? Breaking news?
This is a breaking news update live on 660 AM. The Answer.
This came up on Twitter just a moment ago. I will tell you what I tweeted as soon as I finish this report. The Pentagon has now announced it launched an airstrike in Syria targeting Jihadi John, a British national seen in videos depicting the beheading of hostages held by ISIS. Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook confirmed the airstrike in Raqqa targeted the notorious militant, also known as Mohammed Emwazi. It was not immediately clear whether Emwazi died in the airstrike, but a senior U.S. military official told Fox News, quote, "We are 99% sure we got him." The Pentagon was still monitoring the aftermath of the strike before making a definitive announcement. A senior defense official told Fox News a drone was used in the airstrike. Once again, the Pentagon has announced an airstrike targeting Jihadi John, the British national seen in videos depicting the beheading of hostages held by ISIS. It may have been that they killed him. They're not 100% sure, but a spokesman said they were 99% sure that they got him. My tweet when this came down about 10 minutes ago was this: I hope he died screaming. This is the Wells Report.
How will the future affect the money decisions you make now? Find out Saturday morning with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell on Smart Money. Smart Money will bring you the latest information regarding financial markets and what it means to you and your investment and retirement portfolio. Not knowing could be costly. Smart Money, a voice of experience and integrity, with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell. Saturday mornings at 8 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Donald Trump's appearance as host on Saturday Night Live generated big ratings, but did it help his pursuit of the presidency? If you believe his top priority must be to convince the public that he's serious about the world's biggest job, the answer is that SNL probably hurt more than it helped. On NBC, he looked more comfortable delivering carefully scripted lines with hip comedians on a studio set than he does in unscripted debates with his fellow candidates, highlighting his decades-long background with Broadway and Hollywood. That's not the preparation that normally would reassure uncertain conservatives. Meanwhile, his funniest skit on SNL showed the Trump White House in 2018 with all the nation's foreign and domestic problems suddenly solved. When asked how he did it, President Trump shrugs and says it was magic, inexplicable. It doesn't help a candidate's credibility when a TV vision of his presidency is treated as a joke. I'm Michael Medved.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. November, the month of Thanksgiving. If you'd like to be thankful for better vision, listen up, because my friends at Climate Evangelista are teaming up with the Rush Creek Food Pantry to host their Food for Sight drive to help feed local families in need, and they want you to join the mission. Drop off 5 non-perishable food items to one of the Climate Evangelista Eye Center locations in either Arlington or Plano, or their newest location in the Knox-Henderson neighborhood of Dallas, and they'll give you an official gift certificate, $1,500 off LASIK. Not bad. For details, give them a shout at 1-800-714-2020. 1-800-714-2020. Climate Evangelista cares about feeding DFW families. I know you do too, so drop off your food items, pick up your LASIK gift certificate, and give yourself an early holiday gift. Live better by seeing better with my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. 1-800-714-2020. 1-800-714-2020. Or visit LASIK, LASIK, LASIKsurgery.com.
You're a small to mid-sized business with 300 to 3,000 employees. You face the same network security challenges as big businesses do, but can't support a big IT investment, leaving your doors open to advanced cyber threats. Barracuda next-generation firewalls provide all the core features of enterprise firewalls and UTMs, but without hidden costs and deployment hurdles, making owning a big business firewall no big deal for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda next-gen firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Max, This Is Not a Test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guests Britt Nicole, Colton Dixon, and Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. Must-hear radio on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. Jon-David Wells at your service. We are talking about Hillary Clinton's latest situation with her emails. The FBI is now expanding the probe, and it's getting out of hand. And I would expect that in the coming days, we will see some what would be at least shocking statements being made here before long, probably by Hillary Clinton herself. Anyway, like in less than a week. So we'll see. By the way, according to McClatchy News, Anita Kumar has written that a majority of Americans think Hillary Clinton acted unethically or illegally with her emails. Listen to this. A total of 68% of us believe what she did was wrong in one way or another. The biggest block, 40%, says that she acted unethically, though legally. That includes a large number of Democrats and independents. The second biggest, 28%, believes she did something illegal. The third, 27%, believe she did nothing wrong. The results suggest that even as Clinton builds her lead for the Democrat presidential nomination over rival Bernie Sanders, a sizable number of voters have lingering questions about her behavior as Secretary of State that would follow her through a general election campaign. All right? I have to agree. Let's see. Investigating Hillary Clinton. This is some of the raw data. Do you think Hillary Clinton has sufficiently answered questions about the incident in Benghazi? Respondents who said yes. Let's see. Total 49% said yes. Democrats, 79% of Democrats said yes. Republicans, only 15% of Republicans said yes. 46% of independents said yes. Do you believe that the Republicans should continue their investigation? Total 45% said yes. 15% of Democrats said yes. 80% of Republicans said yes. Independents, 48% said yes. Private email server. Do you think that Hillary Clinton did something illegal? Total percentage, 28%. 6% of Democrats think she did something illegal. 56% of Republicans believe she did something illegal. I don't know how you could possibly think otherwise. I mean, 2 pieces of top secret email on her server? Done. Illegal. Done. Independents, 27%. Do you think Hillary Clinton did something unethical but not illegal? 40% of Americans said yes. 40% of Democrats said yes. 32% of Republicans said yes. 46% of independents said yes. So that is basically what this is. Andrew Spevko, 52 years old, a Democratic computer engineer from Berkeley, California, said this, quote, "It was poor judgment mixing professional and private emails. That division should have been recognized." Yeah. There is one other thing. Hillary Clinton tells the story of how she tried to join the Marines in 1975, but was rejected because she was too old. The problem? The story may not be true. The Post's fact checker illustrates in a column dedicated to Clinton's Marine claim, there's little reason to believe that she, already a very prominent person, would suddenly attempt to join the military. Fact checker does not say that Clinton is lying, notes that several of her friends have in the past vaguely corroborated her recounting of joining the Marines, but awards Clinton 2 Pinocchios for the claim, meaning significant omissions and or exaggerations. This is the Wells Report.
Bill Bennett agrees that the media are going after Ben Carson.
This is so trivial. Supposing that he made it up. Supposing he just thought at one point he might go to West Point and he'd get a full ride. And he might have gone there. So what? What does that have to do with his conduct in public policy, foreign policy, domestic policy? This is just crazy. Crazy.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America. Weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
20 plus years of unemployment. That's what retirement is, or should be. But imagine still working when you're 75 because you didn't have an exit plan for the next stock market crash. If you think your current plan has too much risk, or you're tired of paying hidden fees, listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Rick and Kevin will tell you the truth about the financial world we live in. No one knows when the next correction will be. So listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ, Saturdays at 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey folks, Mike Raichi here, sales manager of 660 AM The Answer. And if you are a business owner, I want to talk specifically to you. For this week only, we have a unique opportunity for you at 660 AM The Answer. We partnered up with Christian Solidarity International. CSI is the organization that delivers food and medical treatment to victims of religious persecution in hotspots around the globe. We are asking business owners to donate $2,500 to CSI. In exchange for your generous donation, you'll receive a professionally written and produced advertising campaign to run on 660 AM The Answer during the next 90 days absolutely free. It'll run during programming you listen to every day, like Mark Davis, Jon-David Wells, Sean Hannity, and others. You'll be helping this important cause and helping your business all at the same time. It's a win-win. And what CSI does is truly worthwhile. More Christians are being persecuted right now than any other time since early history. We are only offering this program until Friday, so call us today to get started. The number is 214-561-2164. That's 214-561-2164. One last time, 214-561-2164. Thank you.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a SelectQuote agent with a true story of how SelectQuote goes to bat for you buying term life insurance. A while back, a man called me who had prostate cancer. He asked if I could beat a very high quote another life insurance agent had given him. I said, let me see. Well, I took his pertinent information, then shopped the highly rated, price-competitive companies we represent, and found one who pre-approved him for a premium way below what he had been quoted. When it comes to term life insurance, no other company touches SelectQuote's experience and expertise in finding the right policy at the right price for almost anyone. How about you?
For your free quote, call 1-800-500-5236. That's 1-800-500-5236. 1-800-500-5236. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save.
Hi, I'm Tom Kidd, engineering graduate of Texas A&M and owner of Structured Foundation Repairs. Our number is 972-484-1200. Our motto is to do the right thing. In some respects, it's hard being the company that always does the right thing. But for our customers' sake, it's very important that we do. Being fully insured, as an example, costs us a lot of money, but it protects our customers. Having employees instead of day laborers is a huge responsibility, but our dedicated employees ensure that we do the best repairs we can. Managing a large office staff can be tedious, but they provide our customers a helpful voice when they need something urgent. Returning every phone call is time-consuming, but instills our customers with confidence that we will always be there when they need us. The Aggie Code of Honor states that Aggies don't lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those that do. That code was the principle our company was founded on, and it guides our daily operations. If this sounds like the kind of company you could trust to repair your foundation, call us today for a free evaluation at 972-484-1200 or click structuredfoundation.com.
Are you ready to take your diabetes management to the next level? Put the Contour Next meter to the test and challenge your meter. The Contour Next meter makes testing easy and highly accurate with close to lab level results. And Contour Next gives you a second chance, allowing you to reapply to the same strip when the first sample is not enough, saving you time and money. So take the challenge. Go to ContourNextChallenge.com, and now you can find the new Contour Next 35-count test strips only at Walmart.
When you're running your own business, you're bound to be busy. Too busy. Too busy worrying about your budget. Too busy scheduling appointments. Too busy to build a website for your business. And because you're too busy, it has to be easy. And that's where Wix.com comes in. With Wix.com, it's easy for you to create your stunning website. Go to Wix.com and create your website today. It's easy and free. That's Wix.com.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report is on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. In case you did not hear, we just had breaking news. The Pentagon has announced it launched an airstrike in Syria targeting Jihadi John. That is a British national, also known as Emwazi, Mohammed Emwazi. It was not immediately clear whether he died in the airstrike. However, a senior U.S. military official told Fox News, "We are 90% sure, 99% sure we got him. I hope he died hard and screaming. I really do." He was seen in video showing the beheading of journalists Steve Sotloff and James Foley, U.S. aid worker Abdullah Rahman Kasig, British aid workers David Haynes and Alan Henning, Japanese journalist Kenji Goto, and a number of other hostages. The Pentagon is currently doing a bomb damage assessment. Emwazi gained international notoriety April 2014 when a video surfaced showing him beheading Foley while making threats against the West with a strong London accent. He acquired the nickname Jihadi John from other ISIS hostages who told media outlets he was part of a clique of ISIS fighters from Britain, the hostages dubbed the Beatles. It is believed that British officials had established Emwazi was Jihadi John shortly after the beheading videos began to surface. However, his true name was not immediately disclosed for operational reasons. This past February, reports by the BBC and the Washington Post revealed the terrorist's true identity. Born in Kuwait, Emwazi immigrated with his family to London, studied computer programming at the University of Westminster, graduating in 2009. He had been detained by British counter-terror officials in 2010 while attempting to travel to Kuwait. British officials believe that Emwazi was an associate of another terror suspect linked to a funding network for Al-Shabaab, a Somali-based militant group. By the way, there is other news. I have long said that ISIS is not much more than a vicious, savage gang as opposed to an organized army. And that is being given proof today, although we're not exactly sure of everything, all the accounts that we're hearing. We do have enough to proceed in a journalistic fashion to report this to you. Kurdish fighters, backed by U.S. airstrikes and advisors, severed a critical Islamic State supply line between Iraq and Syria. This is basically cutting the Levant in two. They achieved one of the biggest military victories against the radical group since it swept into the region in 2014. 7,500 Kurdish forces fought to reclaim Sinjar in northern Iraq. They seized control of a large stretch of a major road that connects Raqqa, the scene of the Jihadi John airstrike today, and the Islamic State's de facto capital in Syria, with Islamic State coupled Mosul, that's Iran's second largest city. So this broke the line between Raqqa and Mosul and is significant from a strategic standpoint, if it's true. The militants have used Highway 47 as an essential lifeline to move supplies and fighters between the two countries. The U.S.-led coalition conducted 36 airstrikes in support of the operation. The Kurdish government said some airstrikes targeted militant car bombs. Some U.S. advisors were positioned on nearby Sinjar Mountain to assist the Kurdish forces in calling in airstrikes. The Pentagon said they remained distant from the fighting. They're providing assistance in determining where the airstrikes are being carried out, according to Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook. The offensive is a key test of the Obama administration's military strategy of using local ground forces, backed by U.S. airstrikes and other support, to lead the fight against the militant group. This, by the way, is a nice analgesic for those people who have truly been paying attention to Obama administration policies in the region. This is a significant reevaluation of the facts. Just in case you want to know. I mean, we're being truthful here. Yeah, it's a key test of the Obama administration military strategy of using local ground forces. Sure it is. This is what Americans do. It's what special forces do. They take indigenous personnel and they turn them into amazing fighting forces, which takes me back to the point at the beginning of all of this, where I told you that ISIS could be easily handled by a real army from nearly anywhere. So U.S. Special Forces find 7,500 Kurds lying around. Now, make no mistake, the Peshmerga is serious business. That's a real army. And that's why ISIS is in big trouble. The Peshmerga needs to go through these people like bad poi going through a sick Hawaiian. Let's see. Then there was this. Just to show you how ISIS is, shall we say, disconnected from reality. Listen to what they did. This is reported in the London Daily Mail. ISIS released a chilling video threatening to attack Russia very soon and make Russians' wives concubines. This is 2 weeks after claiming to have bombed one of their passenger jets. The Islamic State has released a chilling video warning of attacks in Russia very soon and threatening to make their wives concubines and their children slaves. The footage posted by the group's notorious propaganda wing also included chants of "the blood will spill like an ocean," while showing horrific images of beheadings and scenes of Russian troops. Of all the people to mess with on the planet, ISIS chose the Russians? Really? Now, I realize that ISIS really hasn't had anybody really react to what they've done yet, except, of course, for this Peshmerga force that has essentially, at least if you can believe the reports, has split the Levant in half. I will tell you that even though they haven't really been tested, there should be enough history in the Middle East from people who have taken on the Russians that taking on the Russians is a real bad idea. I know it would probably be easy for ISIS to say, well, I mean, look at what they're doing in Syria. The Russians are actually fighting on behalf of Bashar al-Assad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when you start threatening Russia, you're making a mistake. A serious one. A few years ago, about, probably 15 years ago, somewhere in that vicinity, a Russian diplomat was kidnapped in Beirut. And was recovered like a day and a half later. Everyone involved in the kidnapping were found in the exact same way. They were dead. They had been sexually mutilated and posed in a way that would accentuate the mutilation. Does that yeah, okay. And they all appeared on their front doors of their homes at exactly the same time. And nobody said anything. There were no threats. There was no follow-up. As far as I know, I mean, this was the only actual reportage came out of this based on intelligence reports that leaked. And even they were shut up pretty quickly. But you start talking about going into Russia, attacking that state, and start talking about making concubines out of Russians' wives. They're going to slaughter you. What are you doing? ISIS previously called for attacks on Russia and the United States in revenge for airstrikes. Western intelligence officials also suspect ultra-hardline Sunnis of planting a bomb in a Russian passenger jet which crashed in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula 2 weeks ago, killing 224 people. The warning is relayed in the form of an Islamic chant known as a nasheed, while sickening close-ups of images showing prisoners being decapitated and shot at point-blank range. It warns, quote, "The lions of Ummah have awoken. They have raised their swords. O filthy kufr, infidels, you are not brave at all. The sound of your voice has been silenced. We will take through the battle of the lands of yours we wish, so much of your lands. Soon, very soon, the blood will spill like an ocean. We will make your wives concubines and make your children our slaves." Wow. And then there's this. Florent Groberg is the 10th living survivor of the Afghanistan war to receive the Medal of Honor. How did he win this medal? It took 8 seconds. He was providing his security detail for senior U.S. military officials when he spotted a lone figure abruptly turning and coming toward them. He tackled the man to the ground and, with the help of a fellow soldier, pushed him away from the group. The man was a suicide bomber. The bomb strapped around the man's waist detonated, throwing Groberg 15 to 20 feet in the air. The blast killed 4, injured 16. A second suicide bomber detonated his explosives further away from the group, with a nearby building absorbing most of the blast. He detonated prematurely because of Groberg's actions to thwart the first bomber, according to the Army. Had both bombs gone off as planned, who knows how many would have been killed, according to President Obama. During the ceremony, Groberg struggled to hold back tears when Obama acknowledged the families of the 4 men who were killed, one of whom was his mentor. He wears a bracelet with his name on his wrist. Groberg was the first foreign-born recipient of the nation's highest military honor since the Vietnam War. He was born in France. He moved to Bethesda, Maryland in middle school, became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 2001. He graduated from the University of Maryland in 2006, where he ran track and cross country. Obama said Groberg's years as an athlete honed his instincts for military service. The attack tore up Groberg's left leg. He lost almost 50% of his calf muscle. He was treated at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, where he was visited by Obama and underwent more than 30 procedures on his leg. Today, he walked without a discernible limp. He's not running, but he's doing a lot of CrossFit. After the ceremony, standing outside the White House in the rain, Groberg, who is retired from the Army and works as a civilian in the Department of Defense, told reporters he was honored. This medal is the greatest honor you could ever receive. I am blessed and just grateful to have been given the opportunity to serve my country. But this medal belongs to the true heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice and did not come home. God bless Captain Florent Groberg. This is the Wells Report.
Now you can hear the Joy of a Rich Retirement radio show at its new time, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Listen to Dr. W. Neil Gallagher and Matthew Gallagher as they explain how you can have a worry-free retirement. They'll also help you make sense of today's financial headlines. Planning for your retirement is not an option. Get the advice you need to achieve financial success in these uncertain times. Listen to the Joy of a Rich Retirement at its new time this Saturday.
Testing 1-554-321. Much to the amusement of those people, those 3 people watching on YouTube live events, it's time for omelets du fromage. What? Oh. Omelets du fromage. In other words, promos. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. At one time, the American middle class was the envy of the world. Not just the envy of the world's middle class, but the envy of the entire world. Now, not so much. The American middle class is no longer the world's richest. A New York Times analysis shows us why, and that's what we'll be discussing next time on the Wells Report. Don't miss it. Is Mark on, or is it still Wade Emmert? Mark Davis, good Friday morning, brother. Good to hear you coast to coast, and of course for Texas only after 8 o'clock tonight. I'll try this again. Mark Davis, good morning. It's good to hear you on Friday. Thanks very much for joining us coast to coast. You'll be on Texas only from 8 until 10 in just a little bit. Otherwise, let me tell you what's coming up on the Wells Report in just a... Gosh almighty. This will air between 8 and 10? That's right, he wouldn't, would he? Mark Davis, thank you very much for this 2 hours given to Texas only after filling in for Dr. Bill Bennett. Sir, coming up a little bit later on the Wells Report, we're going to be talking about the American middle class. No longer the world's richest. Why? How did it happen? What does it mean? We'll cover it all next time on the Wells Report. This will be Monday. She is a resident of Mexico. She is in the United States illegally, and she voted twice in recent elections in Dallas County. A Grand Prairie woman now has been arrested for voter fraud. Is this the beginning, or is this just an isolated event? We can only hope that eventually American elections will be voted on by Americans. Now, let me try this again. Allegedly, she's a resident of Mexico. So why did she vote twice in recent elections in Dallas County? On the next edition of the Wells Report, we'll talk about a Grand Prairie woman We'll talk about a Grand Prairie woman who's been arrested for voter fraud. How is it that she was able to take part in the American election process? We'll explain the whole thing on the next edition of the Wells Report. Is that okay? Okay. Mark Davis, good Monday morning, my friend. It's finally happened. Someone who has no business voting in American elections has been arrested. As a matter of fact, apparently, she is a resident of Mexico. She lives in Grand Prairie, and she has voted twice in recent elections in Dallas County. What does that mean for us? Is this just the beginning of an enforcement effort, or is this an isolated incident? We'll cover the whole thing like a blanket next time on the Wells Report.
Much on your mind? If you can't sleep, call us now, because we're sending free bottles of Somnipure to listeners in your area. Pay only shipping and handling. Somnipure is a comprehensive sleep formula that's already taking CVS by storm. But now, listeners in your area are invited to try a free 14-day supply. For details, call 1-800-938-3012. Somnipure delivers better sleep 3 distinct ways. You can fall asleep faster, stay asleep through the night, and wake up feeling refreshed with no sleep hangover. Get your free 14-day supply to get the best sleep of your life. This offer is for listeners in your area, but hurry, because when this offer's gone, it's gone. For details, call 1-800-938-3012. 1-800-938-3012. 1-800-938-3012.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
More Christians are facing religious persecution in the Middle East than at any time since early history. This is according to a recent study conducted by the Pew Research Center. It's one of the most amazing things that any of us have ever seen. The outright genocidal persecution of Christians in the Middle East and in North Africa. It is absolutely without any kind of precursor except that conduct which led to the Crusades. And what are we doing? Are we arming up? Are we training our battle horses and grabbing our lances and large swords and starting the long trek across Europe and down into the Holy Land? No. No, what we're doing is not much. We're watching. In the parlance of the day, we're leading from behind. Well, you and I don't have to follow in the footsteps of our rather strange governmental example. We can give to Christian Solidarity International. That is an organization who delivers food assistance, medical treatment, life-saving aid to victims of religious terrorism around the globe. Why don't you give my friend Mike Krejci a call? 214-561-2164. $50, $22, anything that you have. can benefit these Christians in desperate need in the Middle East. Christian Solidarity International. Go to 660 AM The Answer for more information. More of the Wells Report is next.
You know, there's a big difference between talking about the auto industry and knowing the auto industry. Hey, Kurt Chase here, host of the Automotive Edge radio show, where right here every Saturday morning, I bring 25 years of dealership and automotive straight talk to you, the consumer. Whether it's buying or leasing a car, knowing a good used car from a bad bucket of bolts, financing to the best cars, trucks, and SUVs, it's the Automotive Edge radio show, Saturday mornings, right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
When it comes to buying guns, Texas Gun Pros is there to help. Come in and let their guys match you with the perfect gun to meet your needs, whether it's for hunting, personal protection, or just having fun at the range. Texas Gun Pros has it. With their local inventory and vast online catalog, you'll have access to thousands of guns from the country's best distributors. Stop by their North Richland Hills location or visit them on the web at TexasGunPros.com. That's TexasGunPros.com. And see how it feels to be a member of the Texas Gun Pros family.
The stock market has hit all-time highs, but do you trust it and know when to get out? If you're retired or retiring soon and can't afford to lose your investments in a market crash, it's critical to have a sell strategy in your plan.
This is Ken Moraif, host of the Money Matters radio show, inviting you to our free seminar.
7 p.m. Tuesday, November 17th, Alliance, 7 p.m. Thursday, November 19th, Rockwall, or 1 p.m. Saturday, November 21st in Plano. Register at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
At Geico, we've been innovating car insurance for over 75 years with forward-thinking ideas like online quotes and the Geico mobile app. And to prove it, we'll play one of our first radio commercials from 75 years ago.
By Jiminy, Geico could save you money on your car insurance, which is what we'll be doing over 75 years from now. Who knows, maybe with some sort of application that's accessible on a futuristic handheld device. We'll call them online quotes.
See? Forward thinking.
Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM. KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. U.S. forces believe they have killed Jihadi John, the British man shown in the beheading videos of American journalists James Foley and Stephen Sotloff, along with several other ISIS captives. The drone strike was conducted against a vehicle believed to be carrying Mohammed Emwazi in Raqqa, Syria. Kurdish armed forces seized control of a major highway on Sinjar Mountain, dealing a major blow to ISIS.
We're going to take advantage of every opportunity we can to deliver a blow to ISIL.
Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook says the highway was a key supply route between Mosul in northern Iraq and Raqqa, Syria. Mobster Vincent Asaro cleared by a jury of charges he helped plan one of the largest armed robberies in U.S. history.
I got 2 years here and I'm dying to get home.
The story of the $6 million Lufthansa heist was the subject of the film Goodfellas. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
There has to be more to life. Don't you want to get the most out of it that you possibly can? If you're tired of not finding that perfect fix, then you need to tune into the Live More Wellness Show every Saturday night starting at 5 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. Each week, learn how you can live more and experience all that life has to offer. Host Patty Parker will give you the tools that you need to make you the best you can be. But you have to tune in every Saturday night starting at 5 p.m. to learn those secrets. That's the Live More Wellness Show, Saturday nights at 5 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. 20 plus years of unemployment. That's what retirement is, or should be. But imagine still working when you're 75 because you didn't have an exit plan for the next stock market crash. If you think your current plan has too much risk, or you're tired of paying hidden fees, listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Saturdays at 4 p.m. Rick and Kevin will tell you the truth about the financial world we live in. No one knows when the next correction will be, so listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Saturdays at 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey folks, Mike Raichi here, sales manager of 660 AM The Answer. And if you are a business owner, I want to talk specifically to you. For this week only, we have a unique opportunity for you at 660 AM The Answer. We partnered up with Christian Solidarity International. CSI is the organization that delivers food and medical treatment to victims of religious persecution in hotspots around the globe. We are asking business owners to donate $2,500 to CSI. In exchange for your generous donation, you'll receive a professionally written and produced advertising campaign to run on 660 AM The Answer during the next 90 days absolutely free. It'll run during programming you listen to every day, like Mark Davis, Jon-David Wells, Sean Hannity, and others. You'll be helping this important cause and helping your business all at the same time. It's a win-win. And what CSI does is truly worthwhile. More Christians are being persecuted right now than any other time since early history. We are only offering this program until Friday, so call us today to get started. The number is 214-561-2164. That's 214-561-2164. One last time, 214-561-2164. Thank you.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I love birthdays, and our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair, and they want to give something to you. On their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. Affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about $1,000 off. abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Tell me something. How's your back? Do you have neck pain? Hi, I'm Dr. Chad Glines, DC with Genesis Back and Neck, and I want you to know something. There's help out there for you.
My name is Steve.
I'm Debbie, and we've been married for 40 years.
I was a high school football coach, and you can imagine the hits I took over the years.
And I coached and taught PE for 37 years, and it took a toll on me as well.
Both of us were in pretty bad shape physically, so my wife tried spinal decompression, and it was like a miracle.
So much so that I talked him into going.
Dr. Chad pretty much saved me.
We're both active again and walking again. We didn't think that was ever going to happen.
You don't have to live with pain.
There is an answer, and it's Genesis Back and Neck.
At Genesis Back and Neck, we really do love our patients, and hearing stories like this just blesses us. Please stop hurting and call me. 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922 or online at genesisback.com.
Are you a business owner who's jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through December 31st, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. There are a couple of other things before we leave the Middle East and those people that live there. New Jersey officials said yesterday it was inappropriate to have a self-described former Muslim terrorist speak at a country police or a county police academy in a class called Know Your Enemy. Walid Shubat, a Palestinian American, discussed his views on Islam during a counterterrorism seminar in Lakewood Township on November 2nd. Shubat encouraged officers to closely watch Muslims in their communities and said they should be suspicious of Muslims taking martial arts classes, which he said could be an indication they're training to become terrorists. Sheriff Michael Mastronardi said he received hundreds of emails supporting and opposing Shubat's appearance in the days leading up to the class, but he had no authority to cancel the class. Mastronardi said Mastronardi and a deputy state attorney general sat in on the class after the New Jersey chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations objected. The state will hand out new police training guidelines to New Jersey's 21 county prosecutors to clarify what's appropriate and what's inappropriate for classes. This, according to Peter Hazeltine, a spokesman for Acting Attorney General John Hoffman, telling the Asbury Park Press. The private training program that took place in Ocean County last week clearly was not appropriate training, was not the type of training we want our police officers attending. This, according to Peter Hazeltine again. Now, he's a spokesman for Acting Attorney General John Hoffman in the state of New Jersey. Mastronardi said Shubat was originally scheduled through a private police vendor that works with the academy, but was not paid by the academy for his appearance. He said the only step he could take was to order that the class be moved off county property, which he did. The vendor, COPS, is an acronym for Courses Offering Police Specialization. It's owned by Jackson Township Police Detective Mitch Coet. Coet did not respond to a request for comment from the Associated Press. James R. Sues, executive director of CARE, said the Attorney General's response was what the group wanted. Quote, "That is an excellent outcome. That is the kind of thing we are looking for, especially given that it was the lack of guidelines that resulted in the kind of training that happened last week." So, what I'm interested in is this. During the class, Shubat encouraged officers to closely watch Muslims in their community. Would that be bad advice? Shubat said they should be suspicious of Muslims taking martial arts classes. Is that a bad idea as well? I don't think so. I realize that CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, is an apologist for all things ruthless. But all I can tell you is that I'm glad those officers got that training. And I'm reasonably sure there are a lot more people out there that are happy they got that training too. Then there's this. The nuclear deal reached between world powers and Iran could lead to better relations between Tehran and Washington only if the United States apologizes for past behavior. This, according to Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. The president of Iran, who championed the July 14th deal, has pushed for closer engagement with the West since his 2013 landslide election win. But Iran's top authority, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has continued to rule out normalizing ties with the Great Satan, as he routinely calls the United States. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be apologizing. Sorry, I could be wrong. Wait, no, I'm not wrong. There won't be any apologies to Iranians. Okay, so last night on the Wells Report, we were first reported the story that has been reported in all Dallas-Fort Worth media since. And that was the ridiculous idea that the Dallas City Council would update its non-discrimination law to explicitly include protections for transgender residents. This is the same kind of thing that was turned aside by nearly 2/3 of Houston voters just last week. The Houston Equal Rights Ordinance was characterized correctly as something that would indeed allow disturbed young men into females' restrooms. The actual wording of the law makes that unambiguous. I've also said that rapists would have a field day under circumstances like this. And I also said this: why in heaven's name would anyone in North Texas with a wife, a mother, a sister, a daughter, a niece, why would any one of those people, I mean, why would somebody who lives in Dallas and has those relationships, why would they do anything to expose their females to a public restroom in Dallas County, in Dallas City Council? Why are Dallas in the city of Dallas? Why would you do that? I mean, that's ridiculous. And it was done behind closed doors in private. It has been reported all day, and it should be. It's terrible. And leave it to politics. Politics, the absolute only concern in the United States of America that would make what bathroom to use a political issue. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And yet that's what we're dealing with. I'm just sick about this. By the way, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick blasted the Houston ordinance, quickly jumped into the fray, issuing a statement. This ludicrous ordinance, like the one in Houston, reveals city officials who are totally out of touch with Texas values. He's right. In Houston, conservative activist Jared Woodfill says the same core group that helped defeat the ordinance 61 to 39% will deploy similar tactics in Dallas and seek to force a repeal referendum. Woodfill's group will also help collect signatures, send letters to Dallas City Council, and organize with local conservatives. Good. This is good. By the way, there have been TV ads, and we'll probably see them. There was a TV ad that featured a man following a little girl into a bathroom stall, in fact. We said from day one, whatever these ordinances appear, we're going to be on the ground ready for battle, said Woodfill. The Dallas City Council clearly did not hear or learn of the message voters sent in Houston, Texas. Wow. Hours after it became clear the Houston Non-Discrimination Ordinance, or HERO, would be trounced at the polls, Houston Mayor Anise Parker predicted a direct economic backlash for the city, akin to criticism and boycott threats in Arizona and Indiana following similar controversies. But so far, any visible backlash is yet to materialize. Houston appears to be at no risk of losing two upcoming major sporting events. Tagged by opponents as the bathroom ordinance, HERO would have made it illegal to discriminate against someone based on 15 different protected characteristics. including sexual orientation and gender identity. And I'll be danged if the City Council of Dallas did not immediately adopt that exact same language. Talk about throwing it in people's faces. What are you doing? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. In the days after the vote, which, by the way, was 61% voting against, a petition seeking National Football League Commissioner Roger Goodell to revoke Houston's status as host for the 2017 Super Bowl garnered nearly 3,500 signatures. Chad Griffin, president of the National Human Rights Campaign, wrote Goodell seeking an emergency meeting to discuss pulling out. The NFL immediately came back with, the plans are not going to change. We will work closely with the Houston Super Bowl host committee to make sure that all fans feel welcome at our events, according to a statement released by the NFL. Our policies emphasize tolerance and inclusiveness. Similarly, the National Collegiate Athletic Association said it will proceed with plans to hold the Final Four portion of next year's March Madness in Houston. Good. However, Dan Gavitt, vice president of men's basketball championships, conceded the hero vote could impact the NCAA returning to Houston in the future. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, hero opponents dismissed concerns of economic backlash from the beginning. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick went one step further, telling the New York Times that even if Hero's defeat did come at a cost, it would be worth it. If organizations like the NFL would even suggest the Super Bowl not be played here because we don't want men in ladies' restrooms, then we need a new commissioner. If anything, by the way, the ordinance's defeat invigorated Patrick and other opponents of non-discrimination measures that include sexual orientation and gender identity. On Wednesday, Patrick criticized the Dallas City Council for reaffirming a similar ordinance the city has had in place for more than a decade. Well, it's not that easy. Before Governor Jan Brewer of Arizona vetoed a version of the state's Religious Freedom Restoration Act, several major companies, including the NFL, Delta Airlines, Major League Baseball, issued statements of concern. Many groups threatened boycotts. The bill would have allowed businesses to deny services to gay and lesbian customers for religious reasons. So the battle over hero comes to Dallas. This is the Wells Report.
Bill Bennett agrees that the media are going after Ben Carson.
This is so trivial. Supposing that he made it up. Supposing he just thought at one point he might go to West Point and he'd get a full ride. And he might have gone there. So what? What does that have to do with his conduct in public policy, foreign policy, domestic policy? This is just crazy. Crazy.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America, weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
It's Baylor Bears football right here on 660 AM. The Answer. Join John Morris and JJ Joe as they bring you every bone-jarring hit and sensational touchdown as the Bears compete for the Big 12 title. Tune in this Saturday as the Baylor Bears take on the Oklahoma Sooners. The pregame starts at 6:30 p.m. and the kickoff's at 7 p.m. Everything heard right here on 660 AM. The Answer.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. DirectHomeMedical.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's called the Transcend Mini CPAP. And right now, you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-500-1257. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. Call directhomemedical.com now for your 10-day in-home trial. 1-800-500-1257. That's 1-800-500-1257.
There are times when people need a little extra money, honest, hardworking people, and some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company who gets it, who could help my listeners who need it. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com to check your rate, risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of my listeners need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code BORROW. That's avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW. Avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW.
Loans made by WebBank. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
One day, we were like, hey, you know what would be great?
What's that?
A huge Christmas party this December. Let's say December 5th.
Fun.
Hey, you know who we should invite?
Ooh, how about Toby Mac? Call him.
So we did. Dude, Toby, hey, call up some of your closest friends. We're throwing a party.
Yeah, we holla at you.
So here's your official invite. Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Mac's This Is Not a Test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guests, Britt Nicole. Colton Dixon. And Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
Well, son, we did it. We opened our very own private storage IRA with the Gold Silver Group.
You mean the Gold and Silver IRA that you can store privately?
Yes. We called the Gold Silver Group, and they were great. They explained all our options. The Gold Silver Group has 3 simple steps that made it easy. They gave us the best prices, and now we have our IRA Gold and Silver in our hands. We even qualified for an extra $700 in free silver.
Okay, Dad, now you've got my attention.
You insure your house, the car, the kids, your health, and even the dog. Don't you think it's time to insure your wealth?
Call 800-563-2603. Learn how easy it is to set up your own private storage IRA and how to qualify for up to $700 in free silver. Protect your portfolio. Diversify with gold and silver. Have your gold and silver IRA privately delivered to your door, fully insured. For the best service and best prices, call Gold Silver Group. 800-563-2603. 800-563-2603.
660 AM. The Answer. Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Telephone number 866-660-5759. This is doing no one any good. This is damaging the left. This is damaging the left. It's damaging transgender people. I'm sorry, damaging transgender people. It's it's a loser for everyone. I mean, females do not want to look over their shoulders when they go to the restroom. They just don't. You know, we keep thinking about all this stuff, and to twist everything around the axle like this is it's just terrible. It is an abuse. It's an abuse of the elective process. You know, this is a cynical abuse of even equal opportunity law, anti-discrimination law. I mean, this makes a mockery of all of it. What makes these things outrageous, in other words, what makes most discrimination outrageous is the simple fact that the people being discriminated against are being discriminated against because of circumstances outside their control. At this particular moment, we are taking a voluntary activity and turning it into a reason to create another aggrieved society member. This is a voluntary issue here. This is not something that is beyond the shall we say, subsistence of the people involved. Now, and before people start getting crazy with me on this, let me say something that's very important, okay? Remember those kids that make it impossible for other kids in an entire school to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because they have peanut butter allergies? The ridiculousness of that is that you're making your allergy everybody else's problem. It is your allergy. It is your child's allergy. Not my child's allergy. It's your child's allergy. Turning the entire school on its head over something ridiculous, granted, unfortunate, but to think that some kid would have some sort of allergic reaction if somebody eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you know, that kid is, I'm sorry, if that's actually the case, that kid's in bigger trouble than can be remedied by having everyone involved in their own allergy. In the case of someone being transgendered, the problem is not a societal problem. The problem is an individual problem. This is a problem of the individual. Treatment should be sought by the individual for the benefit of the individual. It should not include society at all. No more than my allergy to genetically modified corn. By the way, you can't get corn that isn't genetically modified. But I don't make that everybody else's fault. I don't go out and crusade against removal of corn syrup in every possible way. Because most people don't have a problem with it. I'm not making my problem everybody else's, and neither should anybody else. This is the Wells Report.
Now you can hear the Joy of a Rich Retirement radio show at its new time, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Listen to Dr. W. Neil Gallagher and Matthew Gallagher as they explain how you can have a worry-free retirement. They'll also help you make sense of today's financial headlines. Planning for your retirement is not an option. Get the advice you need to achieve financial success in these uncertain times. Listen to the Joy of a Rich Retirement at its new time this Saturday at 1 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Donald Trump's appearance as host on Saturday Night Live generated big ratings, but did it help his pursuit of the presidency? If you believe his top priority must be to convince the public that he's serious about the world's biggest job, the answer is that SNL probably hurt more than it helped. On NBC, he looked more comfortable delivering carefully scripted lines with hip comedians on a studio set than he does in unscripted debates with his fellow candidates, highlighting his decades-long background with Broadway and Hollywood. That's not the preparation that normally would reassure uncertain conservatives. Meanwhile, his funniest skit on SNL showed the Trump White House in 2018 with all the nation's foreign and domestic problems suddenly solved. When asked how he did it, President Trump shrugs and says, It was magic, inexplicable. It doesn't help a candidate's credibility when a TV vision of his presidency is treated as a joke. I'm Michael Medved.
Hey, it's Mark Davis with a message for the fall from my friends at Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They do them both, air conditioning and heating, as their name suggests. And obviously, when the weather's hot, they're your AC company. But now, in the fall, as the temperatures drop, Walker Air Conditioning and Heating focuses on heating your heating system, making sure it's working great. Call them at 972-4-WALKER, 972, the number 4, Walker, or walkerac.com. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're my company, make them your company. For repairs at a fair price, if you need something replaced, they got all the great brands at all the best prices. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. Don't head into the cooler months with a heating system that's not working right. Get it fixed right or replaced at the best prices with the best products. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER, 972, the number 4, Walker, or walkerac.com. A company that's been around more than 50 years. You can trust them. I love them. 972-4-WALKER or walkerac.com.
2 little tablets is all it takes to get thicker, fuller hair, guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically proven, loved by celebrities, and recommended by doctors. And right now, a 90-day supply of Viviscal is being offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-481-7023. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. It makes thin hair full hair beautiful, and promotes the growth of thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, 96% of women would recommend it to a friend. Listen to this.
It's vibrant, shiny, bouncy, everything you want your hair to be. I love Viviscal because it works. It completely works.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls can try it risk-free for 90 days, plus free shipping. Get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Call now, 800-481-7023, 800-481-7023. That's 800-481-7023.
This week at Lumber Liquidators, get limited time savings on beautiful flooring just in time for the holidays. Save up to 60% on hundreds of in-stock styles, like easy-to-install red oak pre-finished hardwood or durable strand bamboo. We've got these for less than half what you'd pay elsewhere, plus so many more. With limited time coupon savings, take an extra 20% off all Dream Home laminate floors. With more coupons and deals from 59 cents, get 24-month special financing. Plus, pick up a Lumber Liquidators gift card. Get set for the holidays with hardwood flooring deals that won't last. Go to lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Don't miss Kohl's Veterans Day savings this Wednesday only. Take $10 off your purchase of $25 or more. That's on top of already great savings, like 40 to 60% off sweaters, fleece, and outerwear for the whole family. Plus, everyone gets $10 Kohl's cash for every $50 spent. Don't miss the one-day-only doorbusters this Wednesday at Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Ronald Reagan, years and years and years ago, 50 years ago, spoke eloquently on what would be a communist takeover of this nation. And he equated communism with socialism, as the two are inseparable. And he spoke about how the socialist regime could be sold to the American people through what he called liberalism, liberal use of government. And one of the things that he said that stuck in my mind was, if you are able to take over as a government project the health care of Americans, your takeover of the United States would be complete. And he was right. It was chilling. not just chilling at the time. Because a lot of people wrote off Reagan at the time as being one of these right-wing kooks. You know, a John Bircher society writ large. I mean, it was like, oh, this is... But the case of the matter is, all of those words have come true. Every one of them. And we are seeing a slow but inexorable move toward domination of the public, oppression of the people, through the process of tyranny, with the goal being totalitarian control. And you're saying now Jon-David is turning into one of those right-wing, crazy, kooky people. Get him a tinfoil hat, blah, blah, blah. No. No, what I'm doing is reading you the news. Maybe you haven't heard. But federal officials are now moving to make public housing a tobacco smoke-free zone. With the implied reality being a federal eviction for tobacco-addicted residents. Why are they saying this? Why are they doing this? The move would improve resident health and save $153 million annually. $153 million annually. In a nation that, as we have this conversation, is nearly $19 trillion in debt. Clearly, it's not about how much money you can save in healthcare. Also, as this conversation happens, we, the people of the United States, still have control of our healthcare. How long will this be? I don't know. An Obama administration plan to ban indoor smoking at public housing properties has drawn praise from health experts and concerns from those who fear violations of the policy would cause low-income tenants to lose their homes. A rule proposed today by the Department of Housing and Urban Development would require the nation's 3,100 public housing agencies to ban lit tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, and pipes, in all homes, indoor common areas, and administrative offices in their developments. Smoking is already banned through voluntary policy in more than 228,000 of the nation's nearly 1.2 million public housing units. The new proposal, if finalized, would expand the no smoking rule to the remaining 940,000 units. We have a responsibility to protect public housing residents from the harmful effects of secondhand smoke, especially the elderly and children who suffer from asthma and other respiratory diseases. How many trillions of dollars have we spent on asthma? Well, Jon-David, we haven't spent trillions of dollars on asthma. Yes, we have. Trillions upon trillions of dollars on asthma. Remember, there are EPA policies, Environmental Protection Agency policies, against PCM10, particulate matter 10 microns. Particulate matter 10 microns. Smaller than most bacteria. Why? Because that particulate matter causes asthma attacks. So what was the outcome of that particular policy? Well, you can't kick up dust when you're building houses. Well, how do you keep the dust down? Well, you pour water all over the ground. You mean the water that they don't have in California? Uh-huh. They're still doing it, by the way. There's not enough water for people to have lawns, but there's enough water so that if you build a new house or build a new building or build anything in California, you have to keep the property watered down while you do it so no dust comes up. Oh. Well, what happens when the Santa Ana winds blow? Well, dust comes off the desert in bucket loads. Oh, I see. So this is HUD Secretary Julian Castro making a strong case for the abolishment of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. There's more. In addition, secondhand smoke causes hundreds of newborns to die each year from sudden infant death syndrome, the Surgeon General estimates. Secondhand smoke has never been linked to sudden infant death syndrome, ever. This is propaganda. This is garbage. And Chris Hansen, president of the American Cancer Society, joins in with this helpful rhetoric, quote, affordable and healthy housing should not be mutually exclusive, and this proposed rule helps to ensure residents in public housing can breathe smoke-free air where they live, unquote. You see, this is what happens when American healthcare is politicized. The Surgeon General estimates that secondhand smoke causes hundreds of newborns to die every year from sudden infant death syndrome. That has nothing to do with reality. Nothing. That's just a statement out of clear, thin air. Pardon the pun. Sheila Crowley, president and CEO of the Low Income Housing Coalition, said her group supports the proposed smoking ban. She's concerned the rule could be used to evict violators. Of course it will be. Our only concern is that there be enough protections and help, especially for people with mental illness or elderly people that have serious tobacco addictions, so that they don't end up losing their homes as a result of this. Well, what's the point of doing it otherwise, if not to get people who smoke out of these homes? To truly realize the potential health benefits of smoke-free public housing policies, residents who want to quit must have access to affordable and comprehensive smoking cessation services through private insurance, Medicare, or Medicaid, which leads seamlessly to Obamacare. A HUD spokesman says the agency plans to help public housing agencies partner with other groups to provide smoking cessation classes or programs. The HUD proposal did not make clear how potential violations of the rules would be handled. More than 500 public housing authorities have already established smoke-free rules at least one building, according to HHS. In most of the buildings, violators are typically given multiple warnings, with evictions occurring only as a last resort. So this is public housing. So this is how your public housing money is being abused by politicians. This is how it's happening. So now let's think a little bit about what it would be like if Obamacare becomes what everybody wants it to be, at least those people who are proponents of Obamacare, which is a single payer, read government paid, health care system. The government believes, even though it's not true, the government believes it owns all of those public buildings. They don't. The government only administrates those public housing projects. We own those buildings. We, the people of the United States, not owned by the government. Let me get to Joey in Fort Worth, Texas. Joey, thanks for joining us. What do you think?
I think that this administration and a lot of the, quote, ruling party right now would say that, well, if they were smoking marijuana, then that would be approved because marijuana is not only not bad for you, it's really good for you.
Sure.
And but if you happen to be smoking a pipe on the sidewalk, then you'd be destroying the whole community. If you were just smoking regular tobacco, then you're probably killing the world, and you should be arrested and they should throw away the keys.
Yep. It's exactly right. The situation is as follows. As soon as Obamacare is the law of the land and the government is actually taking care of spending money on your health, just like they're doing with these people in public housing projects, that's how they're going to come to you in your own home, your house. They're going to tell you how to live because they're paying the bill for your life. Are you paying attention to this? 300,000 former soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, Coast Guardsmen, died, I think, somewhere in the vicinity of the last 20 years, waiting for treatment at VA medical outlets. That's more people than died in the Civil War. Well, no, it's slightly less than the number of people who died in the Civil War. Soldiers on both sides. That's what the medical system is going to be like when the government runs it. How will you be treated by this government? Well, you can tell by the way the government is now treating residents of federal housing projects. They're telling them what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. This is how you do it. We're on the brink of being a socialized government telling people how to live in this nation. And that is not what America is about. And all the signs that you need to know are all around you. The chairman of the Democrat Party cannot differentiate between a Democrat and a socialist. And that just went right over everybody's heads. Nobody commented on it except those people who are either experienced enough or aware enough to realize that Democrats are no longer Democrats. They're socialists. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
You know, there's a big difference between talking about the auto industry and knowing the auto industry. Hey, Kurt Chase here, host of the Automotive Edge radio show, where right here every Saturday morning, I bring 25 years of dealership and automotive straight talk to you, the consumer. Whether it's buying or leasing a car, knowing a good used car from a bad bucket of bolts, financing to the best cars, trucks, and SUVs, it's the Automotive Edge radio show, Saturday mornings, right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
I remember the day when one of my best friends called and told me that his father had died. We cried together. This devastated his family, but even more devastating, they invested his death benefit in the stock market. And in the crash of 2008, they lost over $1 million. All of their hopes and dreams were shattered yet again. My name is Brent Tixon. After that market crash devastated my friend's family, I determined that would not happen to anyone else that I knew. After years of research, I did find a better way. So today, I'm giving you a free copy of my best-selling book, Secure Your Retirement Dreams with Safe Money. I reveal where the wealthy grow their money safely, get good rates of return, and get tax-free cash loans for retirement. All of this where you don't lose money in the market. If you're concerned about losing your hard-earned wealth in the next stock market crash, then call 1-800-391-0404 right now to get your free copy of Safe Money. The next 47 callers get free shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-391-0404.
Have you started thinking about your New Year's resolution?
Get a head start on your future by making a resolution that can help you change your life forever. Earn your degree online from Arizona State University. At ASU, we believe the best time to start planning for your future is right now. That's why we offer over 100 of our world-class undergraduate and graduate degrees completely online. For information, call 1-800-400-0092. ASU Online offers the same degrees and the same prestigious faculty as on campus, with flexibility to take classes wherever you are, whenever it fits your schedule. Discover for yourself why U.S. News & World Report named ASU #1 in the nation for innovation, ahead of both MIT and Stanford. We're now accepting applications for the spring semester. Make this year the start of something big. Call now to get started and make this the year you learn to thrive. To learn more about ASU degrees online, call 1-800-400-0092. That's 1-800-400-0092.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen temporal scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
When you cough all day, you forget what a miracle coughing is. Your cough soars out of your mouth at 50 miles an hour. Your cough is faster than a greyhound and nearly twice as fast as the fastest man on earth. So when your husband spends all night coughing, remember what an amazing world you live in.
Or else, try Robitussin 12 Hour. It soothes and delivers fast, powerful cough relief for up to 12 hours. New Robitussin 12 Hour, because it's never just a cough. Use as directed.
We gave Tom 12 seconds to give 6 reasons why he opened a Mathnasium Learning Center franchise.
Okay. Great income potential. Doing good for kids. Doing what I love. Making math make sense to kids. 500 centers open already. One every 3 days. Mathnasium taught me the business. Helps me. Supports me.
Time's up. Pretty good. For franchise information, visit mathnasium.com or take the first step right now. Call 855-361-MATH. That's 855-361-6284.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
Two of the most amazing people that I know believe in giving to others and claiming a tenfold reward for that gift. Let me explain what I'm talking about. These people are multimillionaires. And when they hear about something like Christian Solidarity International, these Christians, these people that I know, would immediately do whatever they could do to donate to this very worthy cause. A cause that delivers food assistance, medical treatment, life-saving aid to the victims of religious terrorism around the globe, including Christians in the Middle East and in North Africa. What they would do is they would take part